Just
okay. All right. Just do you want me to go through an alphabetical order of them, bud? I mean,
go A to
Z. This is why we changed the rules of those, because they said at least if it's a minority, we can probably get away with it a little bit more.
Get a shot.
Guys, we are live right now.
Great. Well done.
That's a great way to segue in. We've always got that awkward preamble, so that was perfect. Welcome everybody to Scripts Gone Wild, your Wednesday night appointment for, I don't know, getting fucked up in your living room. I am your
The Office.
That's right. I'm your host, Billy Ray Bruton, and with me as my co-host this week is Mr. Chris Devlin.
Hey, I didn't even realize I was co-host.
Yeah, you're co-host and reading. You're doing. He is a man of many hats,
wow,
and many talents.
I contain multitudes.
Chris, I'm going to ask you a starter question. When was the first time you saw Trading Places, and what did you think the first time that you saw it?
I seem to remember the first time watching this probably in a hotel room at the beach with my family. And I remember liking it because it seemed like one of those like comedies that your parents just like knew was good. And the first time I went to school in Philadelphia. The first time I was there, all the iconic locations were pointed out to me by the aforementioned parents. So yeah, that's
yeah.
Nice.
I saw it
as a little memory.
I saw it for the first time in a double feature at a movie theater with Private Benjamin. And it was a bizarre double feature, but it worked, and I enjoyed both films. So if you haven't guessed already, the movie we're reading tonight is Trading Places, and it is the first in our sort of holiday series of reads, and we are raising money tonight for an awesome organization called Rainforest Trust. They're dedicated to the purchase and protection of tropical lands to strategically conserve threatened species. That seems like a pretty awesome mission statement to me. And if you would like to donate to Rainforest Trust, you can do so now throughout the read in 2 weeks if you stumble upon it on YouTube, like a lot of people do. You can go to our website, scriptsgonewild.com, click on the donate tab. It's going to take you directly to their website where you can donate directly to Rainforest Trust. If you want to donate $5, that's awesome. If you want to donate $50, that's awesome. They're doing great work. We're happy to be able to support them, and we'll remind you about it throughout the read as well. I'm going to introduce our cast right now, who we're really excited about. So clap at home when I call their name. We've got Mr. Malcolm Barrett.
Yeah.
Harry Shen.
Hey.
Betsy Sodaro.
Yeah.
Natisha Anderson.
Me.
Frank Dietz.
Yeah.
Kenzo Lee.
Hi.
Kimiko Rojas.
Woo.
Ava Ceja. Scott Golden.
Oh, there's Scott.
Izzy Lee.
Yay, Izzy.
Natalie Nicole.
Big cat.
It's just Dressel, right? I don't know why all of a sudden I'm blanked on how to pronounce your last name.
Yeah, Dressel.
Yeah, that's just one of those things I've been drinking, y'all. Ken Foster. Jessica Quiroga, is that correct?
It's close enough that I'll take it.
Yes. Joni Matt. And of course the aforementioned Chris Devlin. So I'm curious about you guys. What was your first exposure to Trading Places, and do you consider it a Christmas classic, or are you not really sure why we're even reading it?
I mean, it's no Die Hard, but it's pretty Christmassy to me.
I had actually never seen it until I researched it today. And I'd spent a lot of my life thinking that it was a Freaky Friday type movie. And when I saw Jamie Lee Curtis in the credits, I was like, yes, I'm on to something, right. But that's not what this movie is.
Not at all.
Yeah, I think I saw it on TBS when I was a kid.
Oh, as a kid? I heard someone say they saw it as a kid, and someone say they saw it when it opened.
Yeah, I did. My brother took me. My brother was a college sophomore at the time. I was a young lad, and he took me to see this little brother bonding moment.
Oh, how old were you?
That's adorable.
Not old enough to do an R-rated movie by myself.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
This came out the year I was born.
I was older than that.
And that Return of the Jedi came out for all those Star Wars fans.
There you
The
go.
best one.
Nice.
So
I think it's John Landis's best comedy.
Yeah,
with the possible exception of Animal House, but it's a different kind of movie. So
yeah, it's pretty good. This was right. Oh yeah, I think this was right after the incident.
Oh.
Yeah.
The John Landis incident.
Yeah,
we know which incident you're talking
I know,
about.
John. I know. I'm very aware of the incident.
Yeah. And this one did really well too. It was kind of like a pretty big hit, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's why
Yeah,
we're
it did
reading
well.
it. We're not reading it because people fucking hate it. At least I don't think that's why. So for you guys at home who have never watched A Script's Gone Wild, first of all, we're very sorry. And secondly, this is how it works. It's a drinking game. If anybody messes up a line, misses a cue, does anything that we can construe as a mistake, they have to take a drink as their penance. We have something that we call social words that are chosen by our Twitter audience. These are words that, when read aloud in the script by the readers only, not me, just the readers. When these words are read aloud, everybody takes a drink. It's kind of designed to give us all that communal feeling. And those words for tonight are Christmas,
Of course.
orange or oranges, singular or plural,
Oh boy.
and pork. But don't worry, we usually only do 2 words. These 3 will only really have about as many as the normal 2 words do. I decided not to go with a name. If I'd gone with Lewis,
We'd be done. We'd be done.
We learned our lesson about proper names.
Oh yeah.
Well, even though we did proper name in Terminator, we did Sarah.
Oh no.
Yes. We also have a finish your drink line, which is chosen by our Patreon subscribers. And that's a word that when we get to it in the script, everybody finishes whatever drink is in their hands, whether it is just a couple of sips or a fresh pour. So you might want to try to time that with the script. And that line tonight is, those men wanted to have sex with me. And that seemed appropriate. And if you want to be able to vote on lines like that in the future, just join our Patreon at patreon.com/scriptsgonewild. We give you all sorts of fun stuff, and you can vote on things that make these people have to drink, which I'm sure they're very, very grateful for. Does anybody have any questions about how things work, or you're worried about your liver not being able to take it, or...
I'm worried about my liver every time we do this, Billy Ray.
Well, if your liver isn't trained by now, it's never gonna be.
No, I keep trying to beat it into submission to get this to work, but hasn't worked yet.
I'm gonna finish this
expect
bottle
Asian
of
glow
sugar.
at least halfway through.
Okay.
Really, Asians can hold their liquor though, man.
Oh, but I'm just gonna turn bright red.
yeah.
That's the difference. Oh yeah.
I've already taken Pepsid AC to get ready for this.
I totally forgot to take my
Perfect.
See, you're gonna see the comparison of me and Parry throughout
Yep.
this and go, "See, this is how good an antacid actually works. On
So you folks at home as well, keep track because it's a longer script. I've tabulated we need to get through 37 pages every half an hour to get this in at 2 hours.
Boy.
We're not going to accomplish this feat, but we're going to try
do our
really hard.
best. Yeah,
We're
here we
gonna
go. Let's do
our
this.
best. Here we go, everybody.
Let's do it.
Trading Places, a Fantasy by Tim Harris and Herschel Weingrod. Exterior, Philadelphia. Christmas. That's all you need to know. An elegant, stately brownstone in the very best part of Philadelphia. A Christmas wreath hangs on the front door, and a light snow is falling. The front door opens, and Coleman, an elderly butler dressed in a cutaway, collects the day's newspapers. He arranges the newspapers on a silver tray already laden with a breakfast service and cut flowers, and carries it out of the kitchen. He bears the tray along a portrait-lined gallery, up a marble staircase, down a long Persian-carpeted hallway towards a closed door, and balances the tray on one hand, knocking, opening the door to Winthorp's townhouse. Dark inside, curtains still drawn. Coleman sets the tray down on a TV, turns it on to a newscast, opens the curtains, flooding the room with light, and revealing Lewis Winthorp III, sitting up in bed in a beautiful bathrobe and silk pajamas, glances at his wristwatch with a smile on his face.
Right on time, Coleman.
Your breakfast, sir.
Coleman lays the tray on Lewis's lap, tucks the napkin into Lewis's pajama top, pours and stirs his coffee, and then neatly cuts the tops off his soft-boiled eggs. Lewis Winthorp III, last descendant of a long line of Eastern Seaboard blue bloods, is a mathematical and financial wizard, but he knows very little about the mechanics, not to mention the tribulations of ordinary life. Wealth, privilege, and a little too much inbreeding have turned him into a smug and extremely unctuous young man. Lewis takes a bite out of each egg, a single sip of coffee, and gets out of bed while Coleman is still buttering his toast.
Thank you, Coleman. It was very good.
Lewis heads towards the bathroom, dropping his robe, pajama top, and slippers along the way, and Coleman follows after him, picking them up off the floor. In the bathroom, Lewis is sitting in a barber's chair, reading the Wall Street Journal as Coleman finishes serving him.
Pork bellies.
Drink!
I have a hunch something very exciting is going to happen in the pork belly market this morning.
Drink again.
Oh gosh, starting early.
The dressing room. Lewis is dressed in shirt, shoes, and socks, and Coleman is kneeling at his feet, tying his shoelaces for him, while Lewis attempts to tie his own bow tie in the mirror without success.
Will Miss Penelope be dining with you this evening, sir?
Yes. Yes. She will.
Coleman stands up and examines the mess Lewis has made of his tie knot. He starts redoing it. Winthorp emerges in the morning carrying an attaché case. A silver Mercedes limousine, Lewis's, is parked in front, and Coleman holds open the door for him. Lewis's limousine moves through the rush hour traffic as the snow continues to fall. The streets are hung with Christmas decorations, giving the scene a colorful, festive air. A Santa Claus rings a bell on a street corner, soliciting donations from the passers-by. The limousine pulls to a stop in front of an imposing office building, and Coleman opens the door for Winthorp, who steps out of the car into the freezing snow. Winthorp heads for the building entrance, and opening credits end. Lewis enters and is greeted by the workers. A view of the trading room of one of Philadelphia's leading commodities firms. The room is divided into about 20 cubicles where it's a commodities firm.
Good enough.
We get it.
Morning, Marge.
Good morning, Mr. Winthorp. The Dukes have been calling you all morning, sir. Something about their pork belly account. And your fiance called.
Drake?
Thank you, Marge.
This is Richard, that Duke and Duke. You have any May wheat for me on the buy side? Got ya. 8 June hogs at 54. Hello, bud. I want to dump 5 soybeans as soon as it drops to 650. Right, that's 25,000 bushels. Time?
12 minutes to closing.
Clocks on the wall give the time in various world financial capitals. A huge electronic board clicks out the changing price quotations for the various commodities. Wheat, corn, soybeans, pork bellies, lumber, gold, silver, orange juice, T-bills, coffee, Microsoft, Facebook. Overlooking the trading floor is a luxurious Winthorp's office. Winthorp enters and strides towards his desk. Winthorp activates the computer console on his desk. It was the 80s, which displays the day's price quotations for pork belly futures. He pulls some graphs and charts from his attaché case, glances at them, and then nods knowingly.
Pork bellies.
Drink.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
The Duke Mansion. Randolph and Mortimer exit their elegant home, past the line of waiting servants, and enter their waiting black Rolls Royce. An extreme close-up of the computer console screen shows the same readout of pork belly prices that Winthorp is watching. The pork belly prices appear on a console screen in the backseat of the limo where the two men are sitting. Randolph and Mortimer, not Mortimer.
Wow.
Both in their 70s, are silver-haired bachelor brothers, founders and joint owners of Duke and Duke Commodity Brokers, a pair of crafty old men whose personal wealth and power rivals that of the Rockefellers. The Duke brothers are dressed in identical pinstripe suits and silk ties. Mortimer Duke's eyes are riveted on the console screen.
When do we sell?
Randolph Duke is neither watching the screen nor listening to his brother. He's engrossed in an issue of Scientific American, on the cover of which is a banner headline, Heredity versus Environment, the eternal question. Randolph responds,
I just can't believe how stupid these scientists are. The eternal question. There is no question. The answer is obvious.
Mortimer reaches over and angrily pulls the magazine out of Randolph's hands.
I don't care about heredity versus environment, Randolph. In fact, I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. I care about how much money we can drink for our pork bellies.
Drink on that too.
Huge.
Winthorp put in a sell order for 76 1/4. His charts say that's as high as it's going to go.
It'll never get that high. Let's sell now.
Patience, Mortimer. Let's see if Winthrop's right.
The price of pork belly stabilized at $75.75, slowly begins to rise to $75.88, $75.93, $76.07, and then seems to stabilize again.
Thorpe's wrong. It's topped out. I say we sell now.
Just another few seconds.
The market's closing. We won't get the order in.
The price starts to rise again, $76.12, $76.19, and finally to $76.25. The price stabilizes there and then suddenly starts to drop off dramatically. The screen flashes, market closed, pork bellies, closing price, $75.89. Randolph Duke, as his mouth curls into a lizard-like smile, punches out some figures in a pocket calculator.
We just made an extra $347,000.
Randolph and Mortimer smirk at each other. They shake hands by linking pinkies. Randolph resumes his pursuit of Scientific American perusal, while Mortimer picks up the phone and dials a number. Winthorp is on the phone with Mortimer, gladly taking the credit for the transaction.
Oh, no, I was never in doubt, Mortimer. Yes, I'm sure a lot of people went belly up on that one. Yeah, see you at the club.
What a great sense of humor he has. Winthorp hangs up, gathers a pile of payroll checks, and puts them in his attaché case. He picks up a framed photograph of a young woman on his desk, checks to see no one is watching, and then gives it a little kiss. At the Heritage Club, the snow is still falling outside, and the Duke brothers' antique silver Bentley limousine turns a corner and comes to a stop in front of an imposingly august colonial building. A doorman rushes outside with an umbrella, opens the limo door, and shields Randolph and Mortimer from the falling snow as they get out.
Mr. Duke. Right this way, gentlemen.
A blind beggar kneels on a cripple's wooden dolly against the side of the building. His name is Billy Ray Valentine. He's a black man of 25, dressed in thin, shabby clothes that offer little protection against the cruel weather. A sign hanging on his chest reads, "A grateful war veteran thanks you. Merry Christmas." His legs appear to have been amputated at the knees, and a knit cap with a pitiful number of coins rests on his lap. Dark glasses conceal his sightless eyes, and as the Dukes come towards him, he wheels himself alongside Mortimer.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. Thank you very much. Vietnam did this to me, but I'm not bitter. Jesus loves you. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Spare war veteran. Spare war veteran. Some change, sir. I'm on my knees for life.
Billy Ray grabs a hold of his pants leg. It's really weird saying my name. Mortimer keeps walking, desperately trying to shake him off without looking at him.
No, we have nothing. Please go away.
As Mortimer struggles to the door, the doorman places his foot on Billy Ray's dolly and sends it skidding back down the pavement. Billy Ray sails backwards, waving his white cane.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You got a lot of soul.
The Dukes are ushered through the front door, above which a brass plaque reads, "The Heritage Club, founded 1776 with liberty and justice for all, members only." A vast, beautifully carpeted, mahogany-paneled upstairs room with 3 fireplaces blazing. About 30 mainly elderly members are lounging in deep leather armchairs, reading their Wall Street journals, and being served tea by uniformed waiters. Portraits of the Founding Fathers line the walls. Randolph and Mortimer sit in an exclusive elevated alcove at the end of the room, and Mortimer is buried behind a copy of the Wall Street Journal.
Listen to this. The frozen orange juice market remains up one day, down the next, but with very little significant movement in either direction because of unstable weather conditions.
Drink on
As
orange.
we drink.
Randolph is not listening.
Expect this stagnation to continue until the Department of Agriculture's January crop report. Exactly as we thought, Randolph.
Wrong. Quite wrong. Not true.
Mortimer glares balefully over the top of his newspaper. He is the younger of the Dukes, being only 71, and considers himself the more practical, intelligent of the two of them. Randolph, on the other hand, considers himself the more visionary, the dreamer, and the genius.
They're giving this genetics fellow the Nobel Prize. The man doesn't know the first thing about human nature.
Randolph, we're about to make millions of dollars in frozen orange juice, and you're talking to me about human nature?
Money isn't everything, Mortimer.
Oh, grow up.
Sorry.
It's Mortimer, brother.
Mother always said you were greedy.
She meant it as a compliment.
Their little spat is interrupted by a dignified elderly waiter who approaches with a silver tray and serves them glasses of hot milk and a glass-covered dish of Oreo cookies.
Ah, Ezra, right on time. I bet you thought I'd forgotten your Christmas bonus. There you are.
Randolph opens his wallet, removes a bill, and lays it on Ezra's tray with a humanitarian smile. It's a whole $5.
$5? Maybe I'll go to the movies by myself. Thank you for your generosity, Mr. Randolph.
Oh, half of it's from me.
And thank you, Mr. Mortimer.
Ezra walks away, shaking his head, mouthing a word that looks suspiciously like motherfucker. Entrance of the Heritage Club. The doorman admits Louis Winthorp carrying an attaché case and dressed in a fur collared overcoat. With a sign, he allows a cloakroom attendant to divest him of his overcoat, gloves, and muffler.
Congratulations, Mr. Winthorp. We heard about your engagement to the Duke's niece.
Their grandniece, actually.
We hope you'll both be very happy, Mr. Winthorp.
Louis can't quite conceal his self-satisfaction.
I'm sure I will. Thank you, Jeremiah.
In the club, Winthorp moves through the room, very conscious of his ascending star, his power. He nods at various members, waves his fingers at others, squeezes a shoulder as he approaches a group of younger stockbrokers playing backgammon.
Good looking, Louis.
Oh, feeling good, Todd.
We need a fourth for squash later, Lewis. Interested?
No can do. I'm having dinner with Penelope.
Well, lucky you.
It's not luck, Todd.
If ever there was a man who believed that his success was the fruit of his own personal worth, it is Lewis Winthorp III. He climbs the steps to the alcove where the Duke brothers are seated, and with a jaunty flourish, removes some papers from the attaché case.
Randolph, Mortimer.
Winthorp, my boy, what have you got for us?
I'm afraid it's that time of the month again.
Oh.
Payroll checks for our workers that need your signatures on, and no forgetting to sign the big ones.
The Dukes grumpily accept the checks and begin signing, handing them back and forth so each check will have both their signatures.
We seem to be paying some of our employees an awful lot of money, Winthorp.
You can't get around that old minimum wage, Mortimer.
$50,000 to Clarence Beeks. Who the hell is...
Mortimer delivers a sharp kick to Randolph on the table and rolls his eyes.
I wanted to ask you about that. According to the records, there doesn't seem to be any Clarence Beeks employed by the firm.
Randolph thinks and then suddenly remembers. He locks eyes with Mortimer, who nods at him as if to say, now you remember, schmuck?
Yes, of course, Clarence Beeks. He's doing something top secret for us.
Research. How's Penelope? She's our grandniece, Winthorp. You better make an honest woman of her.
We're sending out the wedding invitations this week.
Good. Good work, Winthorp.
Randolph starts to hand the pile of signed checks to Lewis, but Mortimer reaches over and removes the one made out to Clarence Beeks.
Don't worry, Winthorp. I'll take care of this one personally.
Goodbye, Winthorp.
Lewis remains there for a few seconds, then realizes he's been dismissed. He backs out puzzled, looking at the Duke brothers whose faces are hidden by their reading matter. When he is gone, the Dukes lower their reading matter.
Winthorp's a very solid young man. We're lucky to have him managing the firm for us.
Oh, hogwash. Exeter, Harvard, he's simply a product of good environment.
It's got nothing to do with environment. With his genes, you could put Winthorp anywhere, and he's going to come out on top. Breeding, Randolph. Same as racehorses. It's in the blood.
It would be interesting to take away Winthorp's advantages and see what he turned into. You know, he might even become a criminal, Mortimer.
Mortimer lowers his newspaper just below the level of his eyes and stares across the table at his brother, who is gazing out the window, lost in thought. Rittenhouse Square. Billy Ray is utterly ignored by several other members entering and leaving the club, from whom he tries to solicit donations. He starts wheeling himself down the snowy pavement and turns a corner, wheels himself down the pavement, and two policemen walk over to him. Billy Ray does a Stevie Wonder, pretending not to know who they are.
Who's there? What do you want?
Police. We've had some complaints about con men pretending to be blind and crippled.
Cop number one removes Billy Ray's dark glasses, and Billy Ray rolls his eyes as if he were blind.
Oh, I'd like to help you out, but I ain't seen nothing since I stepped on that Viet Cong landmine back in 72.
You were in Nam, huh? So were we. Where?
Oh, Da Nang, Ma Bang, Keyshawn, Saigon. I was all over the place.
What outfit were you with?
Oh, yeah, they had me everywhere, man. I was with Green Beret Special Forces, man. Tank Commando Airborne Patrol Unit Battalion. Real hush hush, man. I was secret agent, Agent Orange. That was my code name.
The two cops look at each other and then lift Billy Ray up by the armpits and hold him aloft.
Airborne, huh?
They drop him. His legs shoot out from under him and he lands on his feet.
Praise the Lord! It's a miracle! Again. Thank you, officers. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus.
Policeman number 2 tosses Billy Ray's dolly into a trash can, while policeman number 1 strips the sign off his chest and then fingers his gun. A police car with cop number 6 and cop number 7, extras, come out of the alley. Billy Ray backs away, turns, and sprints off at full speed.
Stop! Thief! Help! Help!
Wait, did we jump ahead a little bit?
What
We
just
lost
happened?
Malcolm's sound.
Yeah, I think Malcolm, I think your sound's dropping out when you raise your voice too high.
There he goes.
Is he gone sound?
Wait.
There? Is it there?
There you are.
There we are. I feel like I want to drink on that.
Yeah, he should have drank until it came
I
back.
think we should all drink on that one.
Heritage Club. Lewis Winthorp comes outside, starts walking down the street, and Lewis approaches the alley. Billy Ray collides with him. Lewis is knocked to the ground, and his attaché case goes flying. Billy Ray goes to pick it up.
Stop, thief! Help! Help!
Hey, thief, what you talking about?
Don't shoot, okay? Take it. Take it, please don't kill me. I'm getting married.
Another police car comes up the street containing 2 more cops, and the police get out, and Billy Ray runs down the alley, hurling the attaché case away. The police chase after him, with Lewis shrieking encouragement behind them. Billy Ray ducks into an open door. It's the main entrance to the Heritage Club. Billy Ray goes plowing through the club, chased by cops 1, 2, 6, and 7. Extras, and 2 stunt cops and Lewis. Very specific. Billy Ray sprints like a broken field runner through the tables and chairs and is finally cornered in the alcove where the Dukes are sitting. He starts to open the window to get to the fire escape, and cops 6 and 7 and the 2 stunt cops are also chasing him.
Freeze! Get those hands up.
Policeman number 2 shoves Billy Ray against the wall, handcuffs him, and pats him down. And Randolph says,
"Oh, sorry."
Drink, baby.
It's nice of him to apologize like that.
What's going to happen to this man?
Wait, what?
What?
Oh, sorry. I jumped ahead.
Drink again.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Frank's going to be great, but this one. Great.
I know it. I got it this time. What in heaven's name is going on here?
He tried to rob the payroll, Randolph. He attacked me in broad daylight.
Hey, I didn't do nothing. I swear, the man bumped into me.
Oh, no, I didn't. You knocked me down and tried to snatch my attaché case.
Hey, it was an accident, fool.
All the members are clustered around to watch. Lewis smirks knowingly at them.
An accident, really.
What's going to happen to this man?
We're booking him on assault, attempted robbery, and resisting arrest.
Well done, Winthorp.
I'm innocent. This chump running to me. I was giving him this thing back. Oh, man, I can't be going to jail on account of some motherfucker ain't looking where he's going.
I want to press charges, officer. These people are a menace to society.
Randolph has been curiously studying Billy Ray. Now he starts slowly walking around him, inspecting him from every angle.
You're from a broken home, of course.
Yeah, he was broke. So what?
Now, let me see. You have a history of juvenile arrests, I presume. Drug abuse, reform school, state prison, and all of that?
I don't have to talk to you. I want a lawyer. Hey, any lawyers in the room?
At least half the members watching are lawyers. They draw back as Billy Ray struggles with the policeman.
Anybody want to represent a poor black man? You all want to just string me up right now.
The policemen roughly lead him away. Everyone is shaking Lewis's hand and patting him on the back.
If I could scientifically prove that man, of course, it would have to be a controlled experiment. It's just the kind of thing those Nobel Prize people go for.
What are you babbling about now?
That man is the product of a poor environment. There's absolutely nothing wrong with him. I can prove it.
Of course there's something wrong with him. He's a black person. He's probably been stealing since he could crawl.
On the contrary, given the right surroundings and encouragement, I'll bet that man could run our company as well as our young Winthorp.
This was the 80s, everyone.
Are we talking about a wager, Randolph? And I suppose you think that Winthorp, say if he were to lose his job, would resort to holding up people on the street?
I don't think just losing his job would be enough for Winthorp. He'd have to heap a little more misfortune on his narrow shoulders than that. If he lost his job and his home and his fiancée and friends, if he were somehow disgraced, arrested by the police and thrown in jail even, yes, I'm sure he'd take to crime like a fish to water.
Oh, you'd have to put him in the wrong surroundings, of course, with the worst sort of people. I mean, real scum, Randolph.
Yeah, we've done it before. This time it's in a good cause. How much do you want to bet?
The usual amount?
Why not?
They shake hands. Cops 1, 2, 6, 7 put Billy Ray into the police car, and its sirens are on. The 2 other cops drive it away. Lewis Winthorp and his fiancée, Penelope, are dining on lobster and champagne at a candlelit table at the townhouse. Behind them, Coleman is getting ready to flambe an exotic dessert in a chafing dish set on the sideboard. Winthorp is trying to be modest and blasé about the mugging that took place earlier that day. Penelope is hanging on his every word. Penelope is voluptuous, stunningly dressed, adoring, upper class, and spoiled as shit, y'all.
You're so brave, Lewis.
Well, someone's got to make a stand against criminals like that.
But you could have been killed.
In a situation like that, instinct takes over. You don't have time to think. It's kill or be killed.
Did Lewis tell you what he did today?
Mr. Lewis was good enough to share this afternoon's excitement with me, Miss Penelope.
You're so hot-tempered, darling. I would have groveled on the ground and begged for mercy. I want you, Lewis, now. Yummy.
Coleman, I think we'll just take our drinks in the living room by the fire.
No dessert, sir.
You have it.
Thank you, sir.
Coleman empties the dessert into the garbage, then sits down at a table and pours himself a dry martini from a silver cocktail shaker. The phone rings and Coleman answers it.
Hello. I see, Mr. Duke. A scientific experiment. Not at all, sir. Yes, it does sound very original. It's your house, sir, and I work for you. I will make all the necessary arrangements. And good night to you, sir.
He pours himself another martini.
What a cunt.
Winthorp's townhouse. Penelope is dimming the lights, drawing the curtains, at the same time seductively shedding articles of clothing. Lewis avidly watches her as he undresses himself in front of the blazing fire.
Mumsy wants to give a party for us right after New Year's, January 2nd. Is that good for you?
Okay with me, hun? And darn nice of her, too. Oh, heck. The 2nd of January? Can't do it, Pooh.
Oh, Lewis.
It's the day the crop reports come out.
More seduction.
What did those stupid old crop reports have to do with Mumsy's party?
It's the busiest time of the year in the office, Sugar Puff.
It's just not fair. Why can't you make them do it another day?
Yep. The old Department of Agriculture gets those estimates from all over the country. Wheat, soybeans, pork, bellies, frozen orange juice.
That's a double drink. More seduction.
I suppose I'll just have to ask Todd to take me.
Now, wait just a minute. If you think I'm going to let that playboy take my fiance to...
Oh, just teasing, Winthorp.
Sexy seduction.
You know something, Witherspoon?
What?
We are going to make a great couple. And we are going to have a great life.
Sir!
Lewis protectively shields Penelope's body with his own.
What is it now, Coleman?
Will you be needing me anymore this evening, sir?
No. I think I have everything I want.
The jail holding tank, Dawn. Billy Ray Valentine is holding court for the 6 other inmates in the cell, embellishing his side of the story as much as Winthorp did. The inmates are a racially mixed group. Oh, I guess that's nice.
See, I had the dude under surveillance for about a week. Okay, that's why I'm dressed so funky in these sad sack threats. I'm in disguise. Okay, I ain't gonna make my move till I'm sure the dude's got the payroll.
Billy Ray snaps his fingers, and inmate number 1, a Latino, gives him a cigarette and lights it for him.
Tell how you cut him, Billy Ray.
I never cut him, fool. You think I need a knife?
You told me last night you cut the dude.
I cut him with these, baby.
Billy Ray makes his hand into fist, shadow boxes a la Muhammad Ali, demonstrating how he conquered Winthorp.
Now this some bad dude, big, ugly, red faced like a pig. Must hit him 10, 20 times before he bit the concrete.
One of the inmates is glaring suspiciously at Billy Ray. He's about 6'4", 240, with a shaved head and an earring. His name is Candy, and there is nothing sweet about him.
Tell how you beat on the cop.
Wasn't no cop. I'm talking plural, okay? Drop shot, there was cop. Psst. 6 of them. Had to change my whole strategy around.
Billy Ray assumes what he takes to a karate pose and demonstrates a few kicks and screams.
Yo, when you came in, they said you booked you because they was crying like a pussy.
Try to tear gas to the face. Talk about laughing gas, sucker. Talk about what they use when they know they got a crowd on their hands.
You beating on the man. You been putting the man in the hospital. How come you don't have a mark on you?
Internal injuries, fool. Karate man bleed on the inside. I'm hurt inside.
Billy Ray sits down, glances at his wrist, which holds no watch.
Better get down. Make my bail soon. I'm gonna have to whip some ass.
Say, where's your bitches, Mr. Big Time Pimp?
Okay, I told you the phone in my limo is out of order. Okay, I can't reach them.
It ain't healthy being a jive turkey so close to Thanksgiving.
Canty gets up and advances on Billy Ray.
You know who you messing with?
Billy Ray backs away until he's pinned against the bars. He looks over his shoulder, raising his voice to attract a guard.
You know who you about? Whoa! You know who you beating up on? Number 3.
Okay, Valentine.
Valentine, you got the right man.
Move it. You made bail.
The blizzard is still raging. Billy Ray comes out the front door, goes down a few steps, and then instinctively turns and tries to get back inside, but a policeman shoves him out again. Billy Ray descends the steps and hurries along the street, flapping his arms to stay warm. A black Rolls pulls up alongside, an electric window slides down, and Randolph and Mortimer Duke are sitting there.
Mr. Valentine, could you spare us a moment?
Billy Ray cautiously approaches the window, peers in, and recognizes the Duke brothers. A black chauffeur watches the scene cautiously in his rearview mirror. Billy Ray's hair and eyebrows are furred with snow.
Wait a minute. I know you.
Get inside, Mr. Valentine. It's nice and warm in here.
Mortimer waves a bottle of liquor as a bribe.
Whiskey, all you want.
Uh-huh. Look, I'm falling for the same trick twice, okay? What you gonna do? Get me inside, have me arrested for stealing your car?
Why should we do that, Mr. Valentine? We're the ones who bailed you out.
The chauffeur gets out and opens the door for Billy Ray Valentine. Billy Ray, consumed with paranoia, sits between Randolph and Mortimer. He's taking everything in, the color TV, the lavishly stocked bar, the teletype. He can barely control his nerves. Mortimer pours him a glass of scotch and hands him the bottle. Billy Ray jams the bottle in his jacket and swallows off the drink. Randolph offers him an open box of cigars, and Billy Ray takes a handful and clutches them to his chest.
What do you want? Who are you?
We want to help you, Mr. Valentine. My brother and I run a privately funded program to rehabilitate culturally disadvantaged people. We would like to
drink.
We would like to supply you with a home of your own, a car, a generous bank account, and employment with our company.
We're going to start you at $80,000 a year.
Billy Ray, clutching his bottle and cigars, leans forward and whispers to the chauffeur.
This is some kind of practical joke, ain't it?
Chauffeur shakes his head.
They're a couple of quiz, right?
The chauffeur shakes his head again.
What do I do?
The chauffeur shrugs. Billy Ray sits back, glances at Mortimer, at Randolph, and then looks ahead.
What about the police and the payroll?
We've had the charges dropped, Mr. Valentine.
You're a free man, Valentine. We can stop right now and you can walk away from us forever.
No. I don't mind staying with you fellows for a while.
Excellent. I'm Randolph Duke.
Billy Ray unwillingly lets go of his bottle and cigars to briefly shake Randolph's hand.
Hey, what's happening, Randolph?
And my younger brother, Mortimer.
Hey, that's good. Yeah, Billy Ray Valentine.
The limousine pulls up in front of Winthorp's townhouse.
Here we are, William.
Billy Ray.
Lewis's townhouse. The limo arrives. The front door swings open and Coleman ushers Billy Ray and the Duke brothers into a grandly appointed foyer. Billy Ray, still clutching his bottle and cigars, warily looks around like a nervous animal. Coleman is resplendent in a classically cut suit, suede shoes, and a silk tie.
William, this is Coleman. He'll look after your day-to-day needs.
Coleman steps forward and tries to relieve Billy Ray of his bottle and cigars.
Allow me, sir.
That's okay. That's okay.
May I have your hat, sir?
Okay, what do you want with my hat?
Coleman is here to take care of you. He's your servant.
Your hat, sir?
Still not comprehending, Billy Ray removes his ragged knit cap and hands it to Coleman, who hangs it on a hat rack stuffed with umbrellas, walking sticks, and various fine hats. Billy Ray looks around in awe at the opulently decorated townhouse, and behind him, Mortimer holds his nose and points at Billy Ray's tattered clothing.
Valentine very badly wants to take a hot bath and get into something comfortable. Don't you, Valentine?
A frightened Billy Ray stares at three nodding faces and thinks they're all queer. Like me, queer. Winthorp's townhouse, bathroom, an enormous marble and tiled bathroom complete with gold fixtures, tropical plants, a sauna, a steam room, a shower big enough to hold a Boy Scout troop. Billy Ray is standing next to the tub, wrapped in a towel. He climbs in up to his neck, glancing apprehensively at Coleman, who is gathering up his dirty clothing on the floor. Coleman walks over to the tub, and Billy Ray covers up his private parts.
Jacuzzi, sir.
Say what?
A whirlpool, sir. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Coleman hits a button and the bathwater starts swirling and bubbling around Billy Ray. He's never been in a jacuzzi before in his life. Alarmed at first, he begins to enjoy the sensations. Randolph and Mortimer have their ears to the door, listening to Billy Ray singing some bad disco. The door opens and Coleman comes out carrying Billy Ray's clothing.
What's he doing in there?
He's singing, sir.
Well, they're very musical people, aren't they?
Oh.
What should I do with his clothing, sir?
I'll burn them, Coleman.
Oh, no, send them to the laundry. He'll have to have something to wear back to the ghetto after I've won our bet.
Next week, we'll be reading Soul Man. Just kidding. Winthorp's townhouse, dressing room. Coleman opens a vast walk-in closet filled with expensive suits, shoes, shirts, and sweaters. It's like the men's department at Brooks Brothers. Coleman takes down a gray flannel suit jacket and holds it out for Billy Ray, who's dressed in shoes, socks, underpants, and a shirt.
I imagine this will be a comfortable fit, sir. We've had these altered for you.
Billy Ray allows Coleman to help him on with the jacket. It's a perfect fit. Coleman proffers the matching suit trousers, and Billy Ray slips them on and whispers something to Coleman.
What's going on? What do they want?
They want you to be comfortable, sir, like they are.
Well, William, what do you think? That's you, Billy, right?
Oh, I was just going to skip over that bit. Oh. Billy Ray, now dressed in Winthorp's gray flannel suit, is surreptitiously pocketing a silver table cider. God damn it. A silver table lighter.
Wish you'd skipped it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are no gimme putts here.
Hey, you got a real nice place here, man. This is real nice.
I don't think he understands, Randolph.
Watched by the Duke brothers, Billy Ray pockets a jade figurine, a silver flask, and an ivory snuff box. His pockets are bulging. He smiles at them.
William.
Yes, sir.
This is your home. It belongs to you. Everything you see in this room is yours now. Your personal property. Do you understand?
No.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. Like, you just gonna give me that color TV.
That's right.
And this stereo, this is my stereo, that's mine too, sure. You just gonna give all this shit away. It's all mine. Yeah, I can dig it, man. This kind of thing happens to me all the time.
Mortimer loses patience. He strides over to Billy Ray and starts emptying his pockets.
This is your house. These are your personal possessions. You are only stealing from yourself.
You throw my ass in jail, then you hand me whiskey and clothes talking about how this is my house, my rug, my slave. If you ain't giving me some royal line of bullshit, I ain't even awake.
I understand how you feel, William. The fact remains, this is all yours, and you may do whatever you wish with it.
Is that right? Anything I want.
Billy Ray's eyes angrily lights up a Ming vase on a pedestal. He snatches it up and starts to toss it from one hand to the other.
This is mine too, huh? I could just do anything I want with it.
Mortimer shudders and Coleman can't bear to watch as Billy Ray tosses the vase up and lets it shatter on the floor. Billy Ray stares down at the pieces and winces.
Oh my God, I knew I shouldn't have done that.
Perfectly all right, William. It was your vase. What would you like to do with it?
Yep, there we go.
Would you like to destroy something else?
Billy Ray stares into each of their faces in turn. No one is yelling at him and he can't understand it.
Cheap vase, right? Was it a fake or something?
I think we paid $35,000 for it, but I seem to remember we estimated its value at $50,000 for the insurance company. You see, Mortimer, William has already made us a profit of $15,000.
Mortimer laughed nervously, joined by Coleman, and finally by Billy Ray, whose laughter is touched by desperation, and he still has no idea what the fuck is going on. The three old men think it's a hoot and laugh even harder, falling into place. Billy Ray be nodding and laughing too.
You want me to
Just
break
became
something else?
Statler and Waldorf.
We did.
You want me to
No.
break something else too? I'll break a whole lot of shit.
No!
In the Heritage Club, Winthorp walks along the street towards the club entrance. A man steps out of a doorway and glances at his watch just as Winthorp enters the club. The man's name is Clarence Beeks. He is a steely-eyed, dedicated-looking character. He glances up at the top floor of the Heritage Club and nods. Randolph and Mortimer nod. Randolph and Mortimer nod back to Beeks, who nods at them. There's a lot of nodding going on, y'all.
There is.
And they're sipping hot milk still because that's what old people do.
That's right. I just hope we're not pushing our luck using Mr. Beeks for this as well as for the crop report.
We're involved in an important scientific experiment, Mortimer, and Mr. Beeks has always proved reliable.
A gong sounds at the far end of the lounge, and the members, including Randolph and Mortimer, rise and begin filing out. Winthorp walks along with the other members. Clarence Beeks, coming in the opposite direction, bumps into him and plants something in his pocket.
Excuse me.
It is done so casually and expertly, Winthorp hardly notices. An oak-paneled room dominated by a table large enough to accommodate some 40-odd members. The members have taken their seats and are called to order by the club president, Grant Crawshaw, an icy patrician who is in an obvious temper.
Gentlemen, there is something rotten in the Heritage Club. Something that has never reared its vile head during the 208 years of our club's history. There is a thief, and he is sitting here among us. Not an ordinary thief like the man Winthorp had the guts to stand up to yesterday. No, this man is 100 times lower. I'd like to introduce Mr. Beeks of Lyndhurst Security.
Gentlemen, I'd like to ask you all to stand up.
They do.
I'd like to ask you to put your left hand on the shoulder of the man to the left of you.
They do.
I would now ask you to place your right hand in the trouser pocket of the member to your right and empty the contents of his pockets on the table.
The table is quickly filled with car keys, spare change, wads of dollar bills, etc.
You may sit. We marked 3 $50 bills with red X's. These 3 bills were stolen less than 10 minutes ago from a coat in the cloakroom. One of our operatives witnessed the theft.
Beeks slowly moves down the table, his head's turned, and finally stops in front of Winthorp, who tries to keep a smile on his face. Beeks picks up the money lying on the table and holds it up to the room. The bills are clearly marked with a red X. Winthorp goes pale and he stares wildly around.
Wait a minute. I've never seen this money before in my life.
Todd Lewis's other friends are avoiding his gaze, turning their backs on him as they rise from the table. 2 other operatives who have been sitting on chairs against the wall rise and swiftly handcuff Winthorp. He can't believe it.
This is outrageous. Randolph, Mortimer.
The members are starting to leave the room, shunning Lewis, who is getting hysterical.
What is the matter with you? I haven't done a thing.
Randolph pauses in front of Winthorp, gazes sternly and sadly into his eyes.
Oh, Winthorp, I'm glad your parents are not alive to see this.
The 2 operatives lift Winthorp up and bodily carry him from the room. His last sight is of Clarence Beeks standing by the door watching him. At the police station, it's the same one Billy Ray was bailed out of that morning. 2 cops in uniform drag a handcuffed and protesting Winthorp into a large, brightly lit room filled with other handcuffed suspects. Everyone is glum and resigned. The ethnic underclass who have been here before. Winthorp, however, remains firmly under the illusion he is still a man of importance.
Oh, mistake. Oh, boy, are you two going to be sorry. You know who I am. You are making a career decision here. Think about it. You're going to live with it for the rest of your life.
Cop 3 releases Lewis from his handcuffs, thinks he's finally managed to intimidate him.
I know. I've got 2 phone calls. Just point me to the phone.
Take your clothes off.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I know my rights.
Strip, you little shit, before I tear you a new asshole.
Did you hear what he just said to me? I have witnesses to this. This man is physically threatening me.
The cops pick him up and drag him out of the room. He's been stripped down to his underpants.
Everything off.
Please, I...
Off!
Lewis drops his drawers and covers his private parts with his hands.
Hands above your head.
Lewis shuts his eyes and lifts his hands high in the air. Cop 4 checks through the hair on his head, under his arms, in his mouth, and looks at the soles of his feet.
Bend over and spread them.
What?
You heard him. Body search.
He is forced to bend over, his horrified face hanging upside down between his legs, staring into the malevolent eyes of Cop 4. His eyes suddenly widen in shock as something is inserted into a very private part of his body. I think we know which one. Interrogation room. Winthorp in his underpants sags comatose against the counter, propped up by the two cops. Cop 5 goes through his clothing, removing his personal effects and bagging them in a manila envelope.
Winthorp, Lewis III, 1 gold watch, 1 alligator skin wallet, Master Charge, American Express, gold card, carte blanche, Visa, Diners Club, 1 set of keys, 1 checkbook, cash, 16 cents, 1 gold pen, Cartiers, 1 comb, tortoise shell, gold ring, tickets to the opera, pocket calculator, 1 cellophane bag of...
Cop 3 holds up a cellophane bag filled with white powder and tears it open. He dips a pinky finger into it and takes a taste.
That's not mine. I've never seen that before in my life.
Seen a lot of it down at the lab. That's heroin, mister. You're looking at a 3 to 5 mandatory.
Winthorp's eyes roll back and starts to sag. Booking room. Winthorp's lifeless fingers begin pressed into an ink pad and then onto a fingerprint sheet. Winthorp is being booked. In profile, looking at left for his mugshots, a sign with his name and a series of numbers below it dangles from his neck. A bright camera flash. He looks right, another camera flash. He looks straight ahead, another camera flash. In Winthorp's foyer, a puzzled Coleman is staring down at the pile of tennis rackets, skin diving equipment, and golf clubs stacked on the floor near the front entrance. He looks up and sees Billy Ray descending the stairs, carrying skis, poles, and ski boots.
May I ask what you're doing, sir?
I'm getting rid of a few of my things. These are mine, right?
Billy Ray drops the ski gear onto the pile and glances sideways at Coleman, testing him.
But, sir, what if you decide to go on holiday?
Holiday? You think they're going to get me underwater with all those sharks? Big ugly teeth snapping at my ass? They ain't get me up to no mountain either. Avalanche, frostbite, break my legs. This is dangerous shit here, and I don't want it in my house. You got to do what I say, right?
Yes, sir.
How come?
I don't know, sir.
Yeah, well, put my shit in the car because we're going downtown before someone changes their mind.
Barney's pawn shop. Lewis's Mercedes pulls to a stop in front of a pawn shop. Coleman gets out, walks around, and opens the door for Billy Ray. Billy Ray takes his time, waits until something of a crowd is formed, and then gets out.
Get my skis and my underwater deep sea scuba shit.
Barney's pawn shop. Barney, a middle-aged, balding man, peers out from behind the cage as Coleman brings in all the sporting goods.
Hey, check out the car, man. These people are thieves.
Yes, sir.
After Coleman leaves, Billy Ray removes his shades and golf cap.
It's me, man. Billy Ray.
Barney comes out from behind his cage, stares at Billy Ray, then looks through the window at the crowd forming around the car.
How do you get this stuff?
Billy Ray glances over his shoulder and then whispers.
Barney, I don't know. I got a whole house. I got a limousine. I got a driver. And I got a job. These two crazy old white dudes decided to make me rich.
Why?
I don't know. I'm afraid to ask him.
Barney opens the cash register, looks at Billy Ray.
2 old white guys decided to make you rich. I've never heard that one before.
Barney counts out some money and hands it to Billy Ray, then starts carrying and sporting gear back behind his cage. He notices a name tag on the tennis racket and on the skis.
Hey, Valentine, who's this Lewis Winthorp?
I don't know, and I don't care.
A bar in a neighborhood. It's Billy Ray's local bar, patronized by a racial mixture, of pimps, hookers, and con men. Billy Ray struts over to the bar and takes a seat as heads turn in the 1980s.
Give me a bottle of your best champagne, my man.
The bartender looks suspiciously at him.
You got a lot of knives showing your face around here after all this time.
Well, I got your money. I got your pole, measly little $27 with interest.
Billy Ray peels some bills off his bankroll and tosses them on the bar. A good-looking hooker sees the money and sidles up to him. Hooker number 2, also at the bar.
Billy Ray, is that you?
Who do you think it is? Champagne for the lady. Drinks for everybody. Courtesy of Billy Ray Valentine.
Everybody crowds up to the bar, thanking him, clapping him on the back. While Billy Ray is basking in his glory, a very large and menacing man pushes his way through the crowd and glares at him. It's Candy, the same guy who nearly terrorized Billy Ray in the holding cell earlier.
Where do I know you from?
Candy removes Billy Ray's sunglasses.
You were in the pig last night, bragging on your limousine. You with that job turkey I was gonna carve up.
Candy grabs Billy
Job
Ray's by his
turkey?
jacket lapel.
Job turkey? Take a look outside, chump. That's my car. That's my driver.
Candy flings open the door, sees the Mercedes and Coleman, and the crowd gathered around him. Billy Ray gets off his bar stool, stretches luxuriantly, lays some serious cash down on the bar, and checks both his watches.
Time for me to be heading home. Any of you ladies care to drop by for some cocktails? There's a lot of room in my limousine.
In the Mercedes, Billy Ray's in the back seat, surrounded by half a dozen hookers, all cooing over him. The pimp mobiles are visible in the background.
Where you been, really, Billy Ray? How come I haven't seen you around?
Billy Ray pops a bottle of champagne from the back bar and serves it around as if he's been doing this all his life.
Oh, I've been on a holiday, over in Europe. Yeah, I've been skiing over there, doing a whole lot of scuba diving too. That's underwater.
Coleman is listening to Billy Ray's jive with new interest. A hooker in the front seat coyly rubs herself against him.
You really Billy Ray's chauffeur?
Oh, yes, madam. That I am.
How long you been driving for him?
Oh, quite a long time.
Coleman glances in his side mirror at 4 pimp Cadillacs filled with people following him back to the townhouse. In Winthorp's townhouse, the party is in full swing. Music blaring, people dancing, drinking, turning on. Billy Ray is on the sofa flanked by 2 lovely-looking women fawning over him, and hookers 1 and 2 are in this sequence. He's not at all relaxed, though, and seems more interested in making sure no one breaks anything than in enjoying himself. A dancing couple execute a nifty step, which inadvertently knocks over a half-full bottle of champagne on the table in front of Billy Ray, and he catches it in the nick of time.
Hey, watch yourself. That's a Persian rug. From Persia, man.
Billy Ray grimaces as he spots a cigarette butt lying on the floor.
Okay, who did this? Who's putting out their clues on my floor?
Everyone is having too good a time to even notice Billy Ray. Coleman comes by with a tray of canapes. Coleman is enjoying the party and is obviously slightly sozzled himself.
Would you like me to prepare some hors d'oeuvres for the guests, sir?
No more. They had enough. Where's the rest of them? Where'd they go?
I believe some of the guests have adjourned upstairs, sir.
Billy Ray bounds up the steps 2 at a time and finds himself face to face with Candy, sitting on the top stair, eyes at half-mast, a big smile on his face. Candy is holding a burning joint in his fingers and is stoned out of his goddamn mind.
Hey, man. I take it all back. I apologize.
Billy Ray is fixated on the ash of Candy's joint, which is about to fall into the stairs. Candy raises it to his lips, takes a pull, and the ash topples from it, but Billy Ray catches it in his hand.
You're a righteous dude.
Billy Ray puts his hand in his pocket and walks with determination into the master bedroom, where a few couples are lounging on the bed, passing around a joint and watching the color TV. 2 men, really stoned, are trying on some of Billy Ray's clothes and admiring themselves in the mirror. Hooker number 3 is there. Thank God hooker number 3 is there. Billy Ray glares at them all, walks over and turns off the TV.
Party's downstairs. Everybody out.
Hey, man, nice wardrobe. You got some fine, funky suits here.
Billy Ray marches over to him, takes the clothes away, then notices a glass resting on the polished mahogany dresser. He snatches it up angrily, points to the mark it's made on the dresser.
Look at that ring. I'll be coming around your place making rings. Get out of here, man. Stop messing with my antique.
He herds them all out. And now 3 girls and 2 guys are having a party in the jacuzzi.
What do you think this is, man? YMCA? What, hooker?
Come on in, baby. The water's fine.
All right. You know what? Everybody out the pool.
Billy Ray walks into the townhouse and turns off the music.
Party's over. Time to go home.
He separates dancing couples, snatches drinks out of people's hands. He's like a kid at his own party, suddenly irritated that everyone is partying with his toys.
Some people work for their living, I got to get to the office tomorrow early. Move it.
The drunk and dismayed guests are quickly herded out into the foyer, where a startled Coleman opens the door for them.
Hey, goodbye. Don't be making no noise out there. My neighbors work too. They asleep. Go away.
The last guest to leave staggers towards the door. It's Candy.
And with a bone groove, man. You're the most righteous.
I know. Goodbye.
Slams the door.
Your friends seem to enjoy themselves, sir. I thought it was a great success.
Hey, they ain't my friends. Bunch of freeloaders treating my house like some kind of zoo.
Coleman looks at Billy Ray with a new but puzzled kind of compassion.
Why don't you retire, sir, and I'll straighten up. You have a big day ahead of you tomorrow.
Billy Ray unconsciously begins to adopt the stentorian Mandarin tone of Coleman's speech.
Yes, I believe I will retire. Good night, Coleman.
Good night, sir.
Coleman watches perplexed as Billy Ray stiffly ascends the stairs. The prison holding tank. A burly inmate is tying a striped silk tie around his neck. Another inmate is trying on a gray flannel suit jacket, while a third inmate is buckling up the matching suit trousers. Winthorp, nursing a black eye and a bloody lip, sits in the corner of the cell. He is dressing himself in the discarded rags of the inmates who've taken his clothes. A guard comes down the hall.
Let's go, Winthorp.
Penelope sits angrily waiting on a crowded bench, looking up each time the door opens and another prisoner is released. She obviously finds the whole experience degrading. Clarence Beek stands on the far side of the room by the door watching Penelope. His attention is caught by a group of hookers being released through the door. Lots of hookers in this movie, all very provocatively dressed. One of them, Ophelia, is a very streetwise, tough, and pretty woman in her 20s. As she passes Beeks, he puts on dark glasses and holds down the door for her.
You want to make a fast 100?
Hey, look, I just got out. What are you trying to do, entrap me right here in the police station? Oh, you guys must be getting desperate.
Beeks whispers something in her ear. Winthorp coming out of the jail door. He looks around, sees Penelope, and almost breaks into tears. He advances towards her with open arms, dressed in awful clothes with a black eye and unshaven.
Oh, darling. Thank God you're here.
Penelope cringes. She can barely conceal her horror and embarrassment. Everyone is looking at them as Lewis embraces her.
Lou.
Did I just miss the line?
Well, I'm drinking.
Okay.
Drink.
Sure. Winthorp gets carried away and starts addressing the people sitting on the benches as if they cared.
Oh, my darling. The good news is I am innocent. I didn't do it. I have never done anything even vaguely resembling this, really. It's the truth.
Penelope pulls him away towards the door. Oh, you're muted, Natisha.
Oh, that's it. Uh-oh.
There you go.
I was in it. Okay. I was in it. I was going. Okay. Lewis, you look awful. I'm so ashamed. Those clothes and those shoes. And you've been fighting and oh, you smell. Ooh.
I smell? Do you realize where I have been yesterday? They beat me up and stole my clothes. Those men wanted to have sex with me.
And that's the finish your drink line, everybody. Time to finish your drink.
I just refilled. No.
You're so ruined, Scott.
It's mostly milk, too.
Oh,
now I'm
gosh. This seems like a good time to remind folks that if you'd like to donate for a charity for the Rainforest Trust, you can do that by visiting our website, scriptsgonewild.com. Click on the donate tab. It'll take you right to their website. Please make as large of a donation as you would like. You can also click on the link that has been getting posted in the YouTube chat. Make your donation. We would really appreciate it, and so would they. Help save the rainforest and all the animals that are getting fucked by all of us.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
I'm going to get more champagne on that note.
Okay.
I killed a leopard, apparently.
Get fucked over. Get fucked over.
Is that your kids?
Yeah, it's my daughter.
Is it weird that I'm being a reindeer right now then?
All right, everybody, reload. Here we go.
Here we go. Okay.
Could we discuss this somewhere else, Lewis?
She drags him towards the door. Police station. Lewis and Penelope are arguing on the steps. Beeks is in the background.
Stealing from your friends at the club, Lewis. Heroin, Lewis? Have you lost your mind? Mother wants me to call off the wedding, and so does Todd.
Penelope gropes in her purse for a Kleenex as her eyes fill with tears.
Todd? Well, what does Todd have to do with it?
You've been fired from Duke and Duke, and they're preparing charges against you for embezzlement.
Embezzlement? I have never stolen anything in my life.
How could I How could the man I loved, whose children I wanted to have and breastfeed, be a heroin dealer?
He takes her by the shoulders and looks her right in the goddamn eyes.
I swear to you, on my honor, with God as my witness, that I am not a heroin dealer.
Penelope starts to believe him. Suddenly, Ophelia rushes up the steps, lasciviously wraps her arms around Lewis, and plants a luscious kiss on his gaping mouth.
Yeah, I've been looking for you everywhere, Louis. I just need a taste, baby. You know I'm good for the money. I'm sick, Louis. I need a shot.
Who is this person?
I have never seen this woman before in my life.
Oh, don't say that, Louis. Just a dime bag. I'll do all those things you like, baby.
Bill, he slaps him across the face.
You lying, filthy, disgusting creep! Todd was right about you. I never want to see you again as long as I live.
Penelope races down the steps and jumps into her limo, which pulls away as Lewis furiously tries to disentangle himself from Ophelia.
Oh, grand. Great, thanks a lot.
Ophelia shrugs. She's tired, and she never understood what this was about to begin with.
I mean, it was a joke. Your friend said it would get you off.
Someone told you to do this to me?
Yeah, over there, he gave me $100.
Ophelia points across the street, but there is no one there. Ophelia and Lewis are in the back seat now of a cab. She is reluctantly handing him $20 while the driver watches suspiciously in the rearview mirror.
Now, let me get this straight. I'm going to loan you $20 for the cab, and you're going to give me $50 when we get to your house?
That is correct. My butler, Coleman, will give you $50 and drive you anywhere you want to go.
I mean, you don't exactly look like the type that has a butler, baby. I mean, if you're hustling me.
Hustling you? Hustling you?
He pulls out his wallet and displays his collection of credit cards.
Do you think they just give these to anyone? I can charge goods and services in 86 countries all over the world.
Yeah, well, I don't take credit cards.
As they pull up in front of the townhouse, the driver looks over the seat. And the driver says, neither do I. That's $12.75, buddy. Cash. Lewis starts to hand over Ophelia's $20 bill, but she snatches it out of his hand.
Wait here. I'm going to check this out.
Lewis glares at both of them. At the townhouse, Ophelia follows Lewis up to the front door. He tries his key, but it doesn't work. The locks have been changed. He impatiently rings the doorbell, and the door opens a crack. It's on the chain, and Coleman's face peers out.
Yes?
Open the door. Something is wrong with my key.
Who are you? What do you want?
Coleman, would you please open the door? I'm in no mood for jokes.
Coleman? There's no Coleman here, only Zool.
The door shuts in Winthorp's face. He starts banging his fist on it, ringing the bell.
Thank you for that, Scott.
Staring down at Lewis and Ophelia, wondering what all the commotion is about. Back to the front door as it opens again, and Coleman peers out.
If you do not go away, I shall be forced to call the police.
Ophelia glares at Lewis, hands on her hips, and then looks over at the driver, who taps his forehead, suggesting that Lewis is a mental case. Coleman closes the door and looks at the Duke brothers, who have been eavesdropping on his conversation. Coleman is a bit shaken by what he's been forced to do.
How did he look? Coleman.
Damn it!
Drink!
Drink your milkshake.
Not very, very well, sir. He seems to be keeping company with a prostitute.
Excellent. You see, Mortimer?
It's just a phase.
Billy Ray appears at the top of the stairs in his silk robe, rubbing the sleep from his eyes.
Who's at the door? What they want?
Nothing that need concern you, William. We'll see you in the office later.
The bank the next day. The pavement is crowded with well-dressed people going to work. Heads turn at the sight of Lewis in rags, emerging from the taxi and furiously striding alone, pursued by Ophelia, who can barely keep up in her high heels.
Your house, your butler. Where's my $50?
They go into the bank. Winthorp writes out a check for a female teller and smirks patronizingly at Ophelia.
I would like $500 cash. In fact, make it 1,000.
The teller punches the numbers out on her telephone. She walks over, confers with the bank manager, who approaches Lewis.
I'm sorry, Mr. Winthorp. The IRS has frozen your accounts.
The manager nods at a security guard who takes up a position beside Lewis.
Do you know who I am?
You're a heroin dealer, Mr. Winthorp. It's not the kind of business we want here at First National.
The manager picks up Lewis's wallet from the counter and removes all the credit cards.
I've been ordered to repossess your credit cards.
The security guard leads Winthorp and Ophelia to the door. Lewis is beside himself, yelling back at the manager.
What am I supposed to live on? What's going to happen to me?
Lewis is tossed on the snowy pavement by the security guard. He sits there, fists clenched, pounding the pavement, nearly hysterical. Ophelia comes out and looks down at him, shaking her head.
Why is someone trying to deliberately ruin my life?
Look, honey, I can tell you got all kinds of problems. Let's just forget about the $50. I'm tired. I want to go home.
You've got to believe me. I am being framed. You can't just leave me here.
I've got enough trouble.
I have over $150,000 in this bank. But you don't care. You helped them do this to me.
A taxi pulls up and Ophelia climbs inside. She looks out at Lewis on his knees on the sidewalk, then beckons him over with a finger. He crawls towards her.
All right, let me see that wallet of yours again.
He hands it to her and she flips through it, then takes his wrist and examines his expensive watch and school ring and then feels his palm.
Soft hands. Never done a day's hard work. And a manicure. Oh, I know I'm going to Whoa. I know I'm going to regret this. Get in. I'll drink to that.
In Mercedes, Billy Ray sits in the back seat dressed in the same gray flannel suit and tie that Lewis was wearing the day that collided on the street. On his lap rests Lewis's attaché case. He notices Winthorp and Ophelia in a cab stopped in the opposite lane. Billy Ray peers out through the window.
That's the guy who was at the front door this morning.
Coleman sneaks a glance at Lewis and quickly looks away.
Sir?
Right there, man. He looks just like the motherfucker. The guy who had me busted.
Who are you referring to, sir?
Over there. One dressed like that. He looked more like...
Billy Ray glances down at his pressed three-piece suit and attaché case, and a suspicion starts to form.
Me.
The cab, in the middle of talking to Ophelia, suddenly notices Billy Ray in his car, and his eyes pop.
That's my car. That's Coleman. And that's...
The traffic lights change, and the taxi and Mercedes pull away in opposite directions. Billy Ray and Lewis are both craning their heads around, eyes locked on each other in dawning recognition. The Mercedes pulls to a stop in front, and Coleman gets out at the Duke & Duke office building and opens the door for Billy Ray, who glances over his shoulder down the street.
Something awful weird is going on around here.
You don't want to be late for your first day of work, sir.
He looks up at the intimidating skyscraper.
What do they want from me? What am I supposed to do up there?
I'm sure they'll tell you, sir.
Yeah, but what if I can't do it?
Coleman gives Billy Ray an encouraging pat on the shoulder and then gazes up at the top floor. It's evident that he already feels a certain repugnance for the role he's been forced to play, as well as a growing compassion for Billy Ray.
Just be yourself, sir. No matter what happens, they can't take that away from you.
In the lobby, a security guard smiles from behind the desk as Billy Ray enters and takes a few tentative steps forward.
Good morning, Mr. Valentine.
Say what?
Your elevator is right over there, sir.
Billy Ray enters it. Billy Ray swallows hard, eyes out wide with fear as the elevator shoots upwards. Billy Ray steps out, looks like a scared kid on his first day of school, and turns back to re-enter the elevator, but the door closes in his face.
Welcome aboard, Mr. Valentine. We're waiting for you in the last office down the hall.
Billy Ray walks down the hall with his attaché case. His forehead is beaded in sweat, and he takes a deep breath and is about to knock when Randolph opens the door.
William, my boy, right on time. Come in, come in.
Randolph and Mortimer lead Billy Ray over to a vast desk. Resting on it is a glass of orange juice, a cup of coffee, a slice of bread, a piece of bacon, an ear of corn, a dollar bill, and a bar of gold.
Sit down, William.
I already ate, but you go ahead.
Oh, this isn't a meal, Valentine. We're here to try to explain to you what it is we do here.
Now, we are commodities brokers, William. Now, what are commodities? Commodities are agricultural products. There's coffee, like you had for breakfast.
Randolph picks up the various products on the table as he mentions them. It's as if he's teaching a 4-year-old.
And there's wheat that's used to make bread. And pork bellies are used to make bacon that you might have in a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. At which point, one of the best break the fourth wall moments of any movie ever. Or even with your eggs in the morning. And there are other commodities like frozen orange juice.
Right.
And gold. Though, of course, gold doesn't grow on trees like oranges.
Oh, shit.
Clear so far? Now, every day the prices of these commodities go up or down.
Randolph raises and lowers his hand dramatically. Billy Ray nods in understanding. Randolph activates the computer screen on his desk and gets a readout of the day's gold prices.
For instance, right now, gold is selling at $326 an ounce.
226.45 an ounce.
Ooh.
Very good, William. Now, some of our clients are betting that the price of gold is going to rise in the future, and we have other clients who are betting that the price of gold is going to fall. They place their orders with us, and then we buy or sell that gold for them.
Tell him the good part.
The good part, William, is that whether our clients make money or lose money, Duke and Duke gets its commission.
Well, what do you think, Valentine?
Sound like a couple of boogies.
I told you he'd understand.
Ophelia's tenement. Ophelia and Lewis are walking along the pavement, and Winthorp is carrying 2 loaded bags of groceries.
It is the same guy who tried to rob the payroll. That's him, no doubt about it. He planted the drugs on me. The man is going to die. I am going to destroy him.
Ophelia trudges up the stairs, followed by Lewis, who is still talking and carrying the groceries.
He was wearing my Harvard tie. Can you believe that? Oh, sure, he went to Harvard.
Ophelia opens the door to an apartment with a small Christmas tree in the corner.
I mean,
Christmas.
he's driving around in my car. He could actually be living in my house. Maybe he's taking my job. Maybe he's even fondling my fiance right this minute.
Ophelia slams the door.
Let me assure you, he is going to pay for this. What I'm going to do to that sneak doesn't bear description.
All right, let's get one thing straight, Louie. Taxis cost money, food costs money, rent costs money. You want me to help you? I expect a lot in return.
Ophelia pulls open a large closet, which is empty except for a few items of men's clothing, some huge shirts and jackets.
These clothes were here when I moved in. You can use them if you want.
I cannot begin to tell you how much I appreciate this.
Ophelia.
Ophelia? You realize your name is...
Hamlet's girlfriend, I know. He went crazy and she killed herself. Well, this isn't Shakespeare, Louie. Look, I'm 27 years old. I'm from a miserable little mining town that you've never heard of. I quit school and ran away from home when I was 15. I've worked a dozen jobs I was no good at, not interested in, or both. And the only thing I've got going for me are this face, this body, and what's up here. Okay, I don't do drugs, and I don't have a pimp. This place is a dump, but it's clean, it's cheap, and it's mine. I've saved 70 grand, and it's in T-Bells, Taco Bell. I'm gonna get Taco Bell later. And it's in T-Bills, earning interest. 3 more years on my back, and I'll have enough to retire on.
You're a prostitute.
I'm talking about a business proposition, Louie. I help you get back on your feet. You pay me in cash 5 figures. That's the deal, and it's not subject to negotiation. Understood?
Winthorp nods at her, speechless, taken aback. Satisfied, Ophelia heads for the bedroom, unzipping the back of her dress. Lewis is staring at her beautiful figure, and Ophelia turns as she reaches the door and notices the funny look in his eyes. She points at the couch.
By the way, food and rent aren't the only things that cost money around here. That's your bed.
The trading floor. Billy Ray, Randolph, and Mortimer are gathered around the computer terminal screen on the desk, closely watching as the day's quotation for pork belly prices pitifully drops. Marge is in the background.
Well, it's hit rock bottom. Come on, let's buy.
Mortimer Duke here. Buy 200 Maybelly contracts at 66.8. Put it in my personal account.
Mistake. Big mistake.
Valentine, something very important is going on here. Just watch.
You're going to get reamed on this one.
Why shouldn't we buy now, William?
The price is going to keep going down.
Randolph, this isn't monopoly money we're playing with.
Randolph Duke here. Hold that belly order a moment. Now, tell me why you think the price of pork bellies is going to go down.
Right? What? It's Christmas, everybody's uptight.
Great.
Could we please buy now, Randolph?
You want to lose money, go ahead.
What are you trying to say, William?
It's simple. I mean, I've been watching this thing you got all morning. The whole purpose is these commodities deal is to separate as much money from as many people as possible, right? Ain't no way for you to make any money unless some other guy loses his, right? Well, okay, right? These pork belly prices, pork belly.
Right. Thank you.
Let's drink that on up. Okay, now look, listen to me now. These pork belly prices have been dropping all day. All right, everybody's waiting for them to hit bottom so they can buy cheap and go long. And all the guys who got all these pork belly contracts right now are going batshit because they're losing. Okay, yeah, goddamn secret word. Going batshit because they're losing. You guys, just like 19 drink something words in this monologue. Okay. Going batshit because they losing their money, right? And they thinking it's Christmas.
Right?
Oh,
they think there's Christmas coming up and they gonna have no money to buy presents. And their kids gonna look at them like they was shit, because they can't buy them the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip, right? And their wives, they ain't gonna want to sleep with them and they're gonna scream, sell, sell, because they don't want to lose all their money, right? That's what they're doing. I can feel them out there. They're panicking.
Brokers on the trading floor have stopped what they're doing to watch Billy Ray, whose performance is also it's like a preacher testifying.
He's right, Mortimer. My God, look at it. That's a terrible price. Look at it. It's sitting there, rock bottom. That could have been us, Mortimer.
When it gets down to around 40, I say 64, I'd buy. Yeah, clean out the last suckers by that.
Do you realize how much money you just saved us?
Money isn't everything, Randolph.
Advise all our clients interested in bellies to buy at 64. Mr. Valentine has set the price. Well done, William. Very well done.
Come on, Randolph. We're going to be late.
The Dukes leave and Billy Ray heaves a sigh of relief. Suddenly he notices his money clip lying on the floor under Mortimer's chair. It's stuffed with high denomination bills. His eyes light up as he counts it.
All right.
And then, just as swiftly, a suspicion forms in his mind. At the reception area, as Randolph and Mortimer step inside, the doors start to close, but at the last second, a hand reaches in and the doors open again. It's Billy Ray, panting.
Mortimer's dropped his money. Here. It's all there. You can count it. Here.
Thank you, William.
Count it. It's all there.
I'm sure it is, William. Thank you. And keep up the good work.
The elevator doors slide shut. Randolph fans the bills in the money clip and then tosses it to Mortimer.
Nice try.
Fuck off.
The Philadelphia Athletic Club. Todd and four brokers we recognize from the Heritage Club come out of the squash court and head for the juice bar. Penelope is already there. Penelope, who is muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a mess. Who won? Sorry.
Guess who?
Frank just leave.
Yep.
Randolph needs to use the loo, I believe.
Oh.
Winthorp entering the crowded lounge and looking around for a familiar face. He's wearing shades, an ill-fitting leather jacket, lime green slacks, shoes with 4-inch stack heels, and a pork pie hat. He spots the brokers and waves.
Ah, there you are.
They all immediately turn their backs and face the juice bar. Lewis hasn't spotted Penelope, who is hiding her face in her hands.
Can you believe him coming here?
She's going to be sick. I'll handle this poo.
Lewis comes up to their backs.
Todd, Harry, Andrew, Philip, I know it looks awful, but I just wanted to assure you, my friends, that I am completely innocent. and I am going to fight this thing. Someone's out to get me, but I know who it is. And the most important thing is that I can count on you, my friends, as character witnesses. I will be defending myself, and I was wondering if you could see your way clear. Not a lot, just a small loan to tide me over until the hearing.
Abject silence reigns and reigns.
Frankly, Winthorp, I'm sure I speak for all of us. I think it's an incredibly bad taste for you to come here and embarrass us.
I believe I still am a member of this club.
Nobody wants to buy your drugs here, Louis. Why don't you just go away?
Penelope defiantly links her arm with Todd. Traumatized, Lewis turns and walks slowly out of the lounge, and people get out of his way as if he were a leper. Barney's pawn shop, Lewis removes his gold watch and slides it across the counter to Barney, who gives it a desultory once-over, then puts it down and starts blowing on his hand.
Burn my fingers.
I beg your pardon?
This watch. It's so hot it's smoking, man.
Hot? You mean stolen?
I'll give you $50 for it.
$50? This is a Rochefoucauld, the thinnest water-resistant watch in the world, singularly unique. Sculptural design, executed in warm 14-karat gold, handcrafted in Switzerland, water-resistant to 3 atmospheres. The sports watch for the 80s. A lot of money. $6,590 retail.
Got a receipt?
It tells time in Stade, Monte Carlo, Beverly Hills, London, Paris, and Rome.
In Philadelphia, it's worth $50.
Just give me the money.
Barney counts out some bills while Lewis stares down at the display case where a pair of binoculars rests next to a pearl-handled .45 automatic.
Oh, how much for those binoculars?
$50.
Fancy restaurant. Billy Ray is dining with Randolph Mortimer and George Whittington, one of Duke and Duke's most important accounts. Whittington has brought along an entourage that includes his mistress and 3 of his junior executives. Billy Ray, the only person of color in the room, is holding court between mouthfuls of quail at an elegant table that looks onto the street.
I'm considering going long on April weed. What do you think, Valentine?
As Billy Ray is about to speak, everyone's neck cranes in his direction as if he were E.F. Hutton.
Well, I can think of 3 pretty good reasons why you shouldn't do that, George. 1, the Russian wheat harvest is going to be better than anyone expects. 2, the winter in the wheat producing states isn't as bad as it is in the rest of the Midwest. And 3,
Billy Ray glances over at Whittington's mistress, who's about 30 years younger than he is and looks like a display window in Van Cleef's and Arpels.
I mean, from the look of all that jewelry on your girlfriend, you're going to need all the money you got just to keep her happy.
Whittington turns red. Everyone else freezes in embarrassment except Mortimer, who's smirking with delight at Billy Ray's gaffe. But Whittington suddenly breaks out in raucous laughter, clapping Billy Ray on the back and eliciting the smiling approval of everyone else. Whittington's mistress winks at Billy Ray and blows him a kiss. Across the street, Winthorp is standing across in a driving blizzard and watching the scene in the restaurant with mounting fury through binoculars. His teeth are wildly chattering and he seems unaware that he's nearly covered with snow. Billy Ray, smoking a big cigar and sipping cognac, clearly intoxicated by his success, continues to hold the group's attention.
Pork bellies are tricky, George. I'll tell you the truth.
Drink. Billy Ray leans forward and whispers in conspiratorial tones.
I was in one of those gourmet markets yesterday, and I overheard these 2 ladies talking about how no way were they going to buy bacon at $1.89 a pound. Now, I figured if they can't afford it, neither can the average housewife, so the price goes down. So Duke and Duke went short on pork bellies this morning.
Drink.
That's how you say it when you don't know the next line. You act like the intonation person. So that was short on pork. You gotta act like you got a fucking Christopher Walken, Samuel L. Jackson, that shit. So Duke went short on pork bellies this morning, and we picked up a very nice piece of change.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He went straight to the consumer. How come you've never thought of that?
Oh, well, don't be too hard on him, George. That's what Mortimer and Randolph pay me for.
Winthorp's still watching through the binoculars and emitting strange growls reminiscent of a rabid dog. He's seen enough, but the binoculars are momentarily frozen to his face, the face of Dan Aykroyd. He manages to pull them free, taking part of his eyebrows along with them. He looks down at his hands. They're frostbitten and frozen stuck to the binoculars. He can't get them off. Then he begins sneezing violently. He takes one last deranged glance at the restaurant and then starts for the curb. A taxi drives by at high speed, burling mud, snow, and slush towards the sidewalk. Lewis is covered in it, head to toe. A window opens behind him and garbage is thrown out, landing on Lewis and covering him a second time. Winthorp, dressed in a tattered flannel robe, sits with his feet in a pail of hot water with a thermometer stuck in his mouth in Ophelia's living room. He looks sick as a dog. Ophelia pours some boiling water into the pail and removes the thermometer from his mouth.
Ooh, 103. That's it. You're going to bed.
The man is living in my house. He stole my job. I have to do something.
Winthorp tries to rise but is overcome by dizziness. Ophelia catches him just in time. Winthorp, buried under blankets now and hot water bottles in Ophelia's bed, is still shivering with cold as Ophelia tucks him in. Sound of a doorbell ringing, and as she opens it, revealing a well-dressed, benign-looking, middle-aged businessman holding a bottle of champagne and doing a little cha-cha step. And the businessman says,
"It's 10:30. Here's Johnny."
Ophelia steps out of the hallway and eases the door shut behind her.
Hey, look, honey, I'm really sorry, but my mother just showed up from out of town, so let's do it next week, okay?
She blows him a kiss and goes back inside. Lewis is stumbling out of the bedroom, half-dressed.
Hey, what are you doing?
No, you've got company. Business is business. I can go out for a walk or do something. The fresh air will do me good.
No, get back into bed.
He forces him back into, and Winthorp is back in bed under the covers.
I'm so sorry that I had to cancel. You have to cancel your appointment.
Ophelia looks at him with the beginning of a kind of amused affection.
Wait, what are you doing?
Ophelia takes off all her clothing and climbs into bed next to him, wrapping her body around him from behind. Lewis gives her a fawning, grateful look and sighs deeply.
Oh, Ophelia. I can't tell you how good that feels. Oh, you've been so kind to me.
Ophelia is clearly moved by Lewis's gratitude, and she's not about to show it.
I'm just protecting my investment. Go to sleep.
Lewis closes his eyes, and Ophelia snuggles next to him. In Winthorp's limo, Wall Street Journal, a photo of Billy Ray on the front page and a headline above it reads, "New appointee Valentine electrifies Duke and Duke." Billy Ray is smoking a cigar and reading the Journal article about himself. Coleman peers at him admiringly through the rearview mirror.
If I may say so, sir, you've done remarkably well in such a short time. It's only been 3 weeks.
He lowers his newspaper and gazes reflectively.
3 weeks? Is that all? You know, I can't even remember what I used to do before all this happened, man.
All you needed was a chance, sir. I could tell that right from the beginning.
Well, that's nice of you, Coleman. Between you and me, if I ever had to go back to what I used to do, I'd jump right off the top of Duke and Duke.
Billy Ray lifts his newspaper and resumes reading, observed through the mirror by a distressed Coleman. Ophelia's bedroom. Lewis is sitting up in bed with a thermometer in his mouth, and Ophelia enters, takes out the thermometer, and places a few newspapers on his lap.
99.5. You're not getting out of bed until it's back to normal.
I feel fine. And I can inconvenienced you enough. You have work to do, and so do I.
Lewis starts to get up, but Ophelia restrains him.
Nobody works on Christmas Eve.
Drink?
God.
I'm going to go do some shopping, and we're going to have a nice, quiet dinner tonight. Now read your papers and relax.
Ophelia exits with Lewis staring dreamily after her. He picks up the Journal and sees the photo of Billy Ray on the front page, and his expression instantly changes, his mouth curling into a scowl as he violently crumples the newspaper and gets out of bed.
Christmas, huh? Oh, I'll give him a Christmas present he'll never forget.
Double drink.
Ooh.
Duke and Duke trading floor, a Christmas party in full swing. The room is done up in Christmas decorations. There's a buffet table set up with food and liquor, and most of the employees of Duke and Duke are already celebrating. There's even a man in a Santa Claus costume wandering around soliciting charity. Billy Ray is seated at Winthorp's former desk, entering checks in a ledger. He picks up one of the checks and stares at it, puzzled. It's made out to Clarence Beeks in the amount of $10,000. He picks it up and walks out of the office. Billy Ray maneuvers through the crowd, spots Randolph and Mortimer Duke, and approaches them.
Oh, William! Where have you been? The party's already begun.
Yeah, I just have some work to finish up first. I was wondering, actually.
It's Christmas Eve, and William wants to keep working, Mortimer. I'll be thinking of you in Stockholm when I accept the Nobel Prize.
Oh, the wager has two parts, as I recall. Something about a second party turning to crime.
Billy Ray has no idea what they're talking about, yet he senses that it has something to do with him. Mortimer suddenly notices Billy Ray staring cautiously at him, or curiously.
Didn't you say you had work to do, Valentine?
Yeah, yes, sir. I was going to ask you about this check, too. Clarence Beeks for $10,000.
Mortimer snatches it out of his hand.
I'll take care of it, Valentine.
But we have no record of any Clarence Beeks working for the firm.
It was before you joined us, Valentine. We did manage to stay in business for 47 years before your arrival.
Randolph grabs a drink and thrusts it into Billy Ray's hands.
Have a drink, William, and Merry Christmas.
Drink?
Christmas!
Randolph puts his arm around Billy Ray's shoulder and leads him away as Mortimer glares angrily after him. Santa Claus! He's walking around with a coin box on which are printed the words, "Please give," and asking for donations from the employees.
Oh, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Drink again.
Jesus Christ.
As he passes the buffet table, he wolfs down some cheese, a few cold cuts, a glass of punch. Then, when nobody is looking, he starts stuffing food down his oversized Santa coat. Louis Winthorp III is hungry. He's Santa, guys. He moves across the room, keeping up his jolly facade. When he suddenly collides with Billy Ray, who is deep in conversation with Randolph, Louis struggles to regain his composure and thrusts forward his coin box.
United Charities, thousands of people fired, out of work, hungry, living in tenements, living in hospitals, the sick, the handicapped, the infirm, the framed. They thank you.
Billy Ray stares at Santa with the look that's just short of recognition. Randolph, on the other hand, is merely upset by the request for money.
Oh, no. Don't tell me you gave at the office, because this is the office.
Randolph searches his pants pockets and the sound of jingling coins is loudly audible.
Sorry, I don't seem to have any spare change.
Billy Ray pulls out a $20 bill out of his pocket, folds it, and slips it through the coin slot.
Well, thank you. That's awfully generous. Merry Christmas.
Drink? Louis moves quickly away from them, and when he's sure no one is looking, slips into the office. Louis pulls a bag of drug paraphernalia out of his coat, a handful of roaches, rolling papers, burnt spoons, syringes, a free base kit, etc., and dumps it into Billy Ray's desk drawer. It's not the first time that's happened to me. Louis is going to plant drugs on Valentine just as he thinks Billy Ray planted drugs on him. Billy Ray enters the office just as Louis is closing the desk drawer.
And just what?
You got this, baby. Come on now. Come on.
And just what do you think you're doing?
Louis turns in surprise and backs away from the desk. He begins shouting at the top of his lungs.
Randolph, Mortimer, I've got him. Come here, quickly.
Billy Ray walks forward, staring at Louis as if trying to recognize him.
Who are you?
Randolph and Mortimer comes into the office and Louis points an accusing finger at Billy Ray.
I caught him red-handed. Look, in his desk drawer.
Winthorp, is that you?
I am making a citizen's arrest. This man is a drug dealer. Look in his desk drawer. Heroin, amyl nitrate, quaaludes, marijuana, cocaine. He's the pusher.
Ooh, quaaludes.
Billy Ray calmly empties the contents of the drawer into the desk.
Really?
Really?
I caught this man planting these things in my desk. I'm willing to bet he's not with United Charities at all. This is obviously some primitive attempt to frame me.
Frame you? Oh, if that isn't the kettle calling the pot black.
Racist. He's obviously some kind of lunatic. I'm calling security.
Billy Ray picks up the phone on his desk. Louis reaches into his pocket, pulls out a turkey sandwich, angrily tosses it away. Then he reaches deeper into his pocket and pulls out a gun and pulls his beard down.
Put that phone down.
He does. He recognizes him now.
Hey, easy, brother, easy.
You try to rob me. You plant drugs on me. You steal my job, my house, my car. I ought to kill you right now.
Kill me? I didn't do nothing, man. I wasn't looking to get your job, man. I swear I didn't even know it was yours. Ask the Dukes.
Randolph, who's been surveying the confirmation to take. Jesus.
Hello.
Well, he's been savoring the confrontation and gloating at his brother. Now realizes it's gone way too far.
Put that gun away at once, Winthorp. Have you lost your mind?
A guard comes in.
Freeze! Donut butt!
I realize this whole experience has been rather unsettling for you.
Lewis points the gun at Randolph, at Mortimer, at the guard. Winthorp is an emotional mess, a man pushed beyond his tolerance, dressed up as Santa Claus.
Oh, you'll be sorry, all of you. Really sorry.
He turns and flees.
Winthorp, come back. We can explain.
Explain what?
I don't
Guard
know.
reaches for the phone, and Randolph stops him.
Let him go.
Randolph leaves. Randolph steps inside, smiles at the gawky employees gathered there, and shoos them away.
Got it. Everything is all right. Back to the festivities.
He smiles sadly at Billy Ray.
Poor deluded creature. We caught him pilfering from our club, embezzling funds, selling drugs, and now he's dressing up as Santa Claus. Very sordid business.
I can't believe Winthorp would fall to pieces like that.
The Dukes look at Billy Ray, hoping he hasn't come onto the truth.
Talking about business, of course, but I think that man belongs behind bars.
Oh, he's unemployed, William.
Billy Ray starts sweeping the drug paraphernalia into a waste paper basket. He's taking a high moral stand.
Yeah, but it's no excuse, Mortimer.
He's flat broke and obviously hungry.
Well, he's got money to buy drugs, though, right? I mean, look, next page. You can't be soft on people like that. Okay, it's their own fault, man. Believe me.
Billy Ray empties the drugs into a waste paper basket, spies an especially fat joint, and palms it. Winthorp, trudging despondently down the stairs, he stops on a landing to drink deeply from a bottle of brandy stolen from the office party. He got another 50 floors to go. Billy Ray opens the door with a key, checks no one else is there, goes into a stall, locks the door behind him. Above the toilet seat is air conditioning vent. Billy Ray stands on the seat, opens the vents, and lights up. He takes a hit and blows the smoke out through the vent. He's definitely getting high. Just as he takes an enormous hit of the joint, he hears the sound of the door opening and footsteps marching inside. Billy Ray drops down out of sight. He's squatting on the toilet seat, staring at the burning joint in his hands, wondering what to do with it. Finally, he pops it in his mouth and swallows it. Randolph and Mortimer have entered and are glancing under the stalls to make sure no one else is present before they start talking. They can't see Billy Ray's feet because they're on top of the seat.
Pay up, Mortimer. I've won the bet.
Billy Ray, struggling to hold in the smoke, listens pop-eyed to their conversation, completely puzzled. A sulky Mortimer takes out his wallet, maroons a bill, and hands it to his brother. We see that it's a $1 bill. There's something particularly nasty about the fact that the Dukes have fomented all this trouble for a single dollar. They walk over to the sinks and make use of the assembled cologne and cleaning aids.
We took a perfectly useless psychopath like Valentine and turned him into a successful executive. In the same period of time, we turned an honest, hardworking man into a violently deranged would-be killer. I think the Nobel Prize people are going to be very impressed indeed. Now, what are we going to do about talking Winthorp back? Taking Winthorp back?
Either way.
Either way. And returning Valentine to the ghetto.
Billy Ray swallows the smoke and nearly begins coughing as he starts to realize what they've done.
I don't want Winthorp back after what he's done.
You mean keep Valentine on as managing director?
Do you really think I would have a person of that melanin running the family firm, Randolph?
Well done. Yeah. No, of course not. Neither would I.
Billy Ray is now livid.
I do think we should hold off on switching them back until we can get that crop report on New Year's Eve, though, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. No sense rocking the boat until then.
I think that if Mr. Beeks does what we've paid him to do, we should have a very happy New Year.
Indeed.
The Duke brothers saunter out of the men's room. Billy Ray walks out with a look of determination on his face. He glares at the men's room doors that swing shut behind the Duke. Lewis, the Santa Claus, comes down the stairs and goes out. And Billy Ray comes out the elevator, sees Lewis, and follows him out. It's snowing heavily. Billy Ray rushes out of the building looking for Winthorp. He spies a Santa Claus crossing the street and runs after him.
Winthorp, wait.
Billy Ray catches up to him, turns him around. but it's not Lewis. Billy Ray runs on, turns the corner, catches sight of another Santa Claus boarding a bus at the end of the street. Billy Ray hails a cab and follows after the bus. Lewis, seated in the Santa Claus outfit, stares glumly ahead. He takes a very long swig from the brandy bottle and jams it in his pocket. What he doesn't realize is that his coat is now open and the pistol stuck in his waistband is visible. The other passengers begin to notice. Everyone gets up and edges towards the doors. As the bus pulls into the next stop, Winthorp gets up and prepares to get off, and everyone else edges away from him and gets off the bus. Lewis is baffled by this mass rejection and he staggers off the bus. Lewis exits the bus and weaves along the snowy pavement, followed by a small dog. Lewis drinks from his bottle and sarcastically singing snatches of Jingle Bells. He finishes the bottle and tosses it aside, and the dog goes off and sniffs it. Billy Ray is cautiously following Winthorp from the other side off the street and begins to snow. Rain prominently displayed in the window. He recognizes the skis, golf clubs, scuba gear, etc. with his name on them.
Ow.
Oh,
That was really good.
Why not?
I told you, warp speed, guys, warp speed.
Come on, pile it on. Have a ball. Don't stop now. Come on, pick on me some more.
A giant flash of lightning illuminates the street, and there's a sound of tinkling water. Lewis looks down and sees the dog, his leg lifted, pissing on his shoe, and the dog finishes and coolly walks away. In Ophelia's partner, Ophelia is decorating the Christmas tree. Lewis lets himself in, sheds his Santa costume, and throws it in the front closet. He enters and weaves it steadily across the living room.
Oh, Louie! Merry Christmas!
Lewis staggers, wiggers, drunks. Lewis staggers drunkenly to the bathroom and slams the door shut behind him.
Hey, when you come out, I've got a present for you.
There's no answer, and then there's a knock at the front door. Ophelia goes over to answer, revealing Billy Ray.
Is it you, baby?
Oh, man. Hey, man. Hey, shh. I'm sorry to bother you like this, man. I'm looking for Winthorp. Does he live here?
Ophelia stares at him in recognition.
You better wait here.
Ophelia looks suspiciously at him, goes over to the bathroom and knocks on it.
Hey, Louie! It's him, Valentine. Hey, do you hear me? What are you doing in there? Oh, Louie, are you all right?
Lewis is slumped in the bathtub. There's a glazed look in his eye, and his arms hang limply over the edge of the tub. He burps loudly. Lewis's hand opens, and an empty prescription pill bottle drops from him and rolls across the floor. The doors crashed open. Ophelia and Billy Ray peer in at Winthorp and struggles for a moment to focus on him before his head slumps on his chest. Lewis is asleep in his old bed now, dressed in the same silk pajamas and bathrobe he wore in the opening credit sequence. Coleman, Billy Ray, and Ophelia are escorting a doctor to the door.
It was close, but he's going to be all right. Make sure he gets plenty of rest, and for God's sake, no excitement.
The doctor leaves. Lewis groggily opens his eyes and realizes where he is.
Oh, it was a dream. I dreamed the whole thing. It was all just a bad dream.
There's Coleman.
Good morning, sir. How are you feeling?
Oh, Coleman, I have just had the most absurd nightmare. I was poor, and no one liked me. I lost my house, my job. Penelope hated me. And it was all because of this terrible, awful...
Lewis suddenly notices Billy Ray at his bedside. With a savage snarl, he lunges at Billy Ray and starts to strangle him.
It was that Dukes. Randolph and Mortimer set you up.
You're a dead man, Valentine.
The whole thing was an experiment, fool. And you and me were the guinea pigs. They made a bet over what would happen to us.
Ophelia and Coleman managed to restrain Lewis, who's in a state of dementia, growling at Billy Ray, baring his teeth.
I'm afraid it's true, sir.
I believe him, Louie.
Dukes ruined my life over a bet? For how much?
$1.
A dollar. Oh, that's the way they want it. Fine, no problem.
Lewis is briskly cleaning a brace of shotguns, anxiously watched by Billy Ray and Coleman. Ophelia shakes her head, sits down, and turns on the TV.
I give up.
Billy Ray Bruton, you have the most southernest accent ever.
Thank you. Thank you.
You were raised by wild possums.
That's the best way I've ever heard that described.
Billy Ray just commented on Billy Ray's accent.
Wow,
great. This is so Inception-ish.
Super meta.
Guys, I've been listening to this podcast lately. It's Billy Ray on Billy Ray.
Wow. He talked about possum accents. It's great.
We're in the okay. Check this out. You're raised by gophers who like Steinbeck. Okay, man, you can't just go around. You can't just go around shooting people in the kneecaps because you're pissed off at them.
Why not?
Because it's called assault with a deadly weapon. They give you 20 years for it.
Oh, well, they have to catch me first.
I suppose you ain't gonna let them take you alive either.
Winthorp slides the 2 cartridges into one of the double barrel shotguns and sits across the ceiling as if he's shooting skeet.
Done any better ideas?
Well, seems to me the way you hurt rich people is by turning them into poor people.
You have to admit, you didn't like it yourself, sir. At all!
Pullman.
I don't think I've ever heard Denham Elliott raise his voice that loud ever.
I got
in
a
any
drink.
movie ever.
I got a drink to that.
Oh, my eardrums. Oh, so good.
On the TV, a news film shows Clarence Beeks, a briefcase handcuffed to his wrist, being escorted to a waiting car.
Under heavy security, the crop estimates for the next year's orange crop are being delivered from Miami to the Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
Why, that newscaster is just a fine young twink. Ophelia leans forward, recognizes Beeks' face.
Louis, that's him. The guy who paid me to talk dirty to you.
A big close-up of Beeks holding up his briefcase as the car speeds away under police escort.
In charge of national security is Mr. Clarence Beeks, head of Lyndhurst Security, one of the nation's...
Winthorp and Billy Ray jump out of their seats in unison.
Clarence Beeks.
They stare in astonishment at the screen.
The Duke's just paid that dude 10 grand.
10 grand? I saw a check made out to him for 50 grand. Mortimer said it was for research.
Yeah. Researching how to get a hold of a top secret crop report 2 days before it's made public.
The Dukes are going to corner the whole orange juice market.
Unless someone stops them.
Or beats them to it.
The 4 of them look at each other as co-conspirators. Billy Ray is sitting at his desk now, listening to the interminable activity of the main switchboard as it crackles through the phone intercom.
Interminable? That's not a real fucking word in English.
Interminable.
Interminable?
Duke and Duke, may I help you?
Right.
Mr. Johnson, may I ask who's calling, please? I'm afraid he's busy. Could you hold, please? Duke and Duke, may I help you?
It's clear Billy Ray has been listening to this for hours. He's almost dozing off.
Just a moment. Mr. Beeks, I'll put you through.
Billy Ray snaps away, punches a button on his desk phone, and very carefully lifts the receiver to his ear. Washington, D.C., a phone booth. Clarence Beeks, dressed in a trench coat, sunglasses, and a hat, talks rapidly into the phone. The Department of Agriculture building with seal is visible in the background.
Operation Strange for proceeding according to plan. I estimate penetration and acquisition at 2100 hours tomorrow.
Randolph and Mortimer, seated opposite desks in their offices, are both listening on their phones.
Penetration. Excellent. When can we expect delivery?
I'm coming in by train. We'll rendezvous at 2400 hours, the Hilton Hotel, parking level D, section 4. That's the orange section.
Drink.
Orange.
Orange.
I said it again. Very good. I like that.
Final payment is due on delivery in cash.
Billy Ray is listening to the end of the conversation and jotting it down on a notepad. As they head for the door, briefcases in hand.
I'm asking the bank for $100 million line of credit.
100 million?
Yes, 100 million. This time we're going for the whole enchilada, Randolph. We've got the OJ market, not the orange market, by the balls, as all we have to do now is squeeze.
Department of Agriculture, basement. Elevator doors open and Beeks steps out into the corridor. At the end of it is a bank of what looks like a series of locked mailboxes. Sitting in front of them is a middle-aged, uninformed security guard named Earl, who's watching the New Year's Eve festivities on a portable TV set. Earl smiles and waves as Beeks approaches. And Earl says,
Evening, Mr. Beeks. Thought you'd be out celebrating tonight.
Just a final security check. Make sure everything's all right down here. Care for a cup of coffee, Earl?
Yeah, don't mind if I do.
Beeks pours out 2 cups from a pot. He drops a white pill into one of them. It bubbles for a moment, then dissolves. Beeks hands the doctor coffee to Earl and raises his own cup to a toast.
Happy New Year, Earl.
Happy New Year to you, Mr. Beeks.
A few minutes later, Earl is sound asleep. Beeks takes Earl's keys and opens one of the mailboxes. He removes a manila envelope on which is printed top secret, confidential, USDA crop report. Oranges! Beeks takes it over to a Xerox machine against the wall and begins copying the crop report. There's a train on the platform being prepared for departure at the train station in Washington, D.C.
Amtrak service to Philadelphia and New York now boarding on platform 3. All aboard.
Clarence Beeks, carrying his briefcase, walks along the platform, checking the numbers on the various cars. Behind him, two porters are sharing a joint while driving a lot of pot smoking in this film. Beeks checks his ticket and glances at one of the train carriages, which has a sign on it that reads, "Reserved for Baltimore Elks Club, Annual New Year's Eve Costume Party." Through the windows, we can see a dining car filled with revelers dressed in various costumes: cowboys, gladiators, cavemen, Dracula, S&M sex hostesses, showgirls, French maids, etc. One of them, dressed as King Kong, leans out the window, drink in hand, and shouts at Beeks.
New Year, here we come!
Beeks glares at him menacingly and then boards the train at the next car. Beeks walks his way down the corridor past a number of already inebriated commuters and enters the first-class compartment. He puts his briefcase on the floor between his legs and checks his watch. Then he reaches into his shoulder holster, removes a gun, and checks that it's loaded. He doesn't notice the animal cages passing by his window and then stopping. Finally, he turns towards the window and comes face-to-face with a real gorilla who stares at him with a majestic and passive dignity. Beeks makes an ape face and scratches his armpits. The gorilla frowns at his insult and turns to scowl at Beeks as the line of freight cars starts moving again. Beeks has made an enemy. The door opens and Billy Ray enters the compartment dressed in an African dashiki and patterned skull cap. There's a large leather saddlebag strung over his shoulder.
And this is where the movie jumps the shark.
Yep. Wait. Yep. Hold on. This is
Hold on, it's coming. It's a wardrobe change. It's a costume change right now.
Look at you.
Oh, it's all right.
Hey, look at this.
What page are we on?
I didn't know we were doing Magic Mike.
Now that's a
It's reverse Magic Mike. I like it.
I don't even know what page it is. Oh, wait. Okay. You guys ready?
Let's do it. Do it. Here we go, baby.
Happy New Year, sir. Yes. Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year. That's what we say in this country.
Yes. Thank you, sir, for correcting my English, which stinks. I am Naga Uboko. I am exchange student from Cameroon. You like some beef jerky?
The two stone porters are loading the last of the freight inside. An Amtrak official hands them some invoices to sign.
These animals are being routed through to New York. Their feeding instructions are on their cages.
I'm here.
You shouldn't have any trouble, but if you do, there's a tranquilizer gun in the first aid kit.
Oh, yeah?
Have you guys been drinking?
No, sir. Not us.
Enough drugs on this train already.
When the official leaves, the porters climb into the freight car and slide the door shut. They lean against it. Porter 1 pulls out a joint, lights it, inhales deeply, and passes it to Porter 2.
I'm getting hungry, man.
And then they both die because of marijuana.
Oh, God.
Go. Beeks and Billy Ray look up as Coleman, dressed as an Irish priest, opens the door and smiles drunkenly at them.
Happy New Year!
Coleman sits down next to Billy Ray and takes out a flask.
Ah, that's very nice of you, son. And a happy new year to you, too. I did some missionary work in your part of the world. And I must say, some of those African women, they've got physiques on them that could lead a man to temptation. There's more. Hang on. I have to scroll. More. Could I offer you two a wee jolt of Irish whiskey to welcome in the new year?
No, thank you.
It's against my religion. Thank you very much. You want beef jerky?
Coleman takes a healthy pull from the flask. He really is drunk.
I'm with you, Natalie.
I always say, religion's fine, thing if taken in moderation. No, I don't care for any song. It gives me the gas something terrible.
The train lurches and begins moving. The doors open and Ophelia enters dressed in a blonde wig with pigtails, lederhosen, hiking boots, and a shirt covered in International Youth Hostel badges. She's carrying a rucksack.
Come in, my child. Join the party. Let me guess, you're from Germany.
Ja, Deutschland. Mein Name is Heidi. You will help me, please. The rucksack put on top.
He swearily stands up and with one hand lifts the rucksack to the baggage rack. As he does so, Billy Ray pulls an identical attaché case from his saddlebag and switches it with Beats' case. The two porters are sitting on crate, smoking a joint, eating bananas intended for the gorilla, who is glowering at them.
Gotta get something else to eat, man. I'm starving.
Maybe they got some Fritos in the bar.
They don't. They lurch down the corridor and past Billy Ray, who is approaching the lavatory. He knocks in coat on the door. It opens a crack, and Billy Ray slips Beaks attaché case inside, and the door closes. With a piece of paper inside it with an embossed Department of Agriculture letterhead, a pair of brown hands began to type furiously. The Elks Club car, King Kong, highball glass in hand, is being thrown peanuts by the two stone porters. He's lurching around the room, trying to embrace various middle-aged ladies in costume.
I'm King Kong. I need a girl to take to the top of the Empire State Building.
Haven't you had enough to drink, Car?
Are you kidding? It's not even New Year's yet.
Billy Ray is back in the seat. He, Coleman, and Ophelia are all obviously expectantly waiting for something. To their horror, they see Beaks pick up the attaché case, put it in his lap, and begin to open it. The doors open, and Winthorp enters dressed as a Pakistani in turban, all white clothes, glasses, a mustache, and a beard, carrying an attaché case. He does a double take at the side of Billy Ray and speaks in the sing-song voice of every waiter in every Indian restaurant, because this is the 80s.
Anga, is that you?
Barande! My friend and fellow exchange student from Pakistan. Can I offer you some beef jerky?
Oh, no, Nanga. In my religion, we worship cows. But I do happen to have some vegetable samosas here.
Lewis pulls out some disgusting pastries wrapped in newspaper.
Would you care for some Irish whiskey, Mr. Barrett, to wash down your vegetable samosas?
Oh, excuse me, Barani. This is Father McDermott from Dublin, and Heidi from Dusseldorf, and
Beaks, American.
Everyone except Beaks is standing up and shaking hands and milling about the compartment, drinking whiskey and eating beef jerky and samosas. Beaks is disgusted by these foreigners. A train conductor enters the compartment.
Tickets, please. See, you folks are having quite a party here.
Here's my ticket, and here's some beef jerky, turkey. This is the writer really believed in this joke. Merry New Year.
No thanks. I only like Slim Jims.
You see, Nanga, there are very many vegetarians in America. May I offer you a vegetable samosa, sir?
Just your ticket, please.
Perhaps a little nip of Irish to usher in the new year.
They're like, fuck yeah.
Don't mind if I do.
The conductor puts Coleman's flask in his lips, and just as he's about to take a sip, notices Beaks staring at him.
Then again, maybe I won't.
He returns the flask, takes Beaks' ticket, and then returns to Ophelia.
You will take down my rucksack, Herr Beaks. I am having my ticket and some Limburger cheese in my rucksack to make picnic.
Beaks sighs, puts down his attaché case, navigates through the crowd. As he reaches up for the rucksack, Winthorp switches the attaché shits back. Beaks accidentally sees what Winthorp is doing in the mirror below the rugged sack. Beaks gets the rucksack, hands it to Ophelia, who he now recognizes, and the conductor leaves after getting the ticket.
I suppose you will be arriving in Philadelphia very soon. Will you be getting off in the city of brotherly love, Mr. Beaks?
Beaks draws his gun.
I will, but you won't.
Beaks smiles and slowly rips away Lewis's mustache.
Winthorp.
He trains the gun on all of them, herding them out of the compartment while holding the gun against Ophelia's back.
We're going for a little walk. Try anything funny. She gets it first.
Train corridors, Coleman, Billy Ray, Winthorp, and finally Ophelia are herded toward him by Beaks, whose gun is hidden in his pocket. The train, Elk's car. The drunken party is even louder and louder now as Beaks herds his captives through the revelers. King Kong's eyes light up at the sight of Ophelia.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch, Fräulein.
Ophelia winks provocatively at him, unseen by Beaks. King Kong, totally plastered now, falls in step beside her.
Hey, I'm King Kong, the biggest and baddest guy in the jungle. Who are you?
Beat it.
You can't talk to an elk like that.
Get lost, maggot.
What's the story on this guy? He your father or something?
King Kong joins the line of captives, walking backwards between Ophelia and Billy Ray as they exit the Elk's car. They all troop in ahead of Beaks, who shuts the door behind them and removes his gun. He walks over and slides down the loading car, revealing the countryside as it flashes by. Reeks herds the captives up to the doorway, except for King Kong, who's peering through the cage at the real gorilla. The gorilla, aroused, smiles with romantic interest.
Beef jerky. Samosas. Irish whiskey. Limburger. Party's over, pal.
Party's over? What do you mean? Party's over. It isn't even 10 o'clock, dummy.
King Kong, not even noticing the gun, approaches Beaks and shakes him by the shoulders.
It's New Year's Eve! Listen up, fella. Party's not over. It's just beginning.
Beaks cracks him over the head with a gun, and King Kong slips down against the side of the gorilla cage. The gorilla, incensed by what's happened to his love interest, reaches through the cage and brings his massive fist down on Beaks' head like a sledgehammer. Beaks crumples to the floor. Ophelia, Coleman, Billy, Ray, and Winthorp look down at the two bodies laying there and then at each other. They're all thinking the same thing. They're both dead. No, they're not. Train, freight car. Beaks, now dressed in the King Kong outfit, minus the head, his mouth taped shut and hands taped together, propped against the outside of the gorilla cage, still unconscious. Harvey, formerly King Kong, lies next to him in his underpants, still out cold. Billy Ray lifts the King Kong head and tries to fit it on Beaks' neck, but it won't stay down. Lewis bangs the head into place, and the gorilla is again aroused by the sight of what he takes to be the member of one of his own species. He begins to jump up and down in excitement, grunting amorously. Harvey staggers back inside, wearing nothing but his underpants. He's a skinny, pale, wimpy-looking guy with glasses. He's still drunk.
Hey, look what happened to me!
The train slows down, switching rails as it enters Philadelphia. The two stone porters, now back on duty, stare in amazement at the gorilla cage. Beaks is shaking the bars in front of them, jumping up and down and pointing at his mouth. The real gorilla watches them with amusement, then starts to mimic Beaks' actions. Beaks starts doing jumping jacks, and the gorilla starts doing them too. Monkey see, monkey do.
Sometimes I look so goddamn human it gives you the creeps.
Totally frustrated now, Beaks tries to push the gorilla away and keep the attention of the porters, but the gorilla pushes Beaks back and then tries to mount him from behind.
The other one's kind of horny, ain't he? Think we ought to hit him with the tranquilizer gun?
Let them have their fun. It's New Year.
He lights another joint and passes it to the other porter. Let's take a moment to recognize what's happening now in this scene. Okay, as long as we all have a mental image. Hotel
I'll drink to that.
Lot. The Duke brothers' black limousine glides down a ramp in the parking structure, passing a sign that announces Level D. The walls and pillars on this level are all painted a bright orange. The limo's lights are cut off. It rolls to a stop in a brightly lit section of the empty parking lot. Randolph and Mortimer get off, check their watches, and nervously glance around at the cavernous, slow-filled space. Randolph is holding a briefcase. Billy Ray, wearing Beaks' trench coat and hat, is leaning against a pillar in the dark, shadowed recess, and smoking a cigarette which glows brightly in the darkness. He's more than a little reminiscent of the Deep Throat character, having a rendezvous with Woodward and Bernstein. The Dukes peer around a lot, check their watches again.
Where is he?
Mortimer's voice echoes loudly across the empty concrete expanse.
Beaks! Beaks, are you there?
A burning cigarette is tossed out into a lighted area about 20 yards from the Duke brothers.
Over here.
Duke brothers approach the cigarette, then walk cautiously into the shadows. After a moment, they're completely in the darkness.
That's close enough.
A bright beam from a flashlight is shining into the Duke's squinting faces. They can't see Billy Ray.
Did you get the report?
Let's see the money.
Randolph opens the briefcase he's carrying, and the flashlight beam reveals that it's stuffed with cash.
Hand it over.
Randolph extends the briefcase into the darkness, and a hand takes it from him. A large manila envelope is tossed through the air, landing at the Duke's feet, and they get onto their knees, tear it open, and greedily look over the crop report, illuminated by the flashlight beam.
Thank you, Beaks. It's wonderful news. Wonderful.
The flashlight beam goes off, leaving the Dukes in darkness once again. The only sound is Billy Ray's footsteps away from them.
Beaks! Happy New Year!
Philadelphia train station. Billy Ray and Winthorp, dressed in matching gray flannel suits and ties, are nervously preparing to board a train to New York. Ophelia and Coleman are seeing them off. Ophelia opens her purse, takes out a thick envelope full of cash, and reluctantly hands it to Winthorp.
Well, I worked long and hard for this money, Lewis, but I know you're going to pull this off.
Ophelia wraps her arms around his neck and kisses him passionately on the mouth. Coleman steps forward and gives Billy Ray an attaché case. Billy Ray opens it and smiles with the cash inside.
My life savings, sir. Try not to lose it.
Lose it? You'll be as rich as Butler in the whole world in a couple hours.
Billy Ray shakes Coleman's hand in a complicated soul handshake that does little for Coleman's confidence. Billy Ray and Lewis leave while Coleman and Ophelia glance at each other in shared apprehension.
Do you really think they know what they're doing?
I think I could use a stiff. Drink. Continued?
Yes.
Would you care to join me?
She takes his arm and they walk away. Traders and brokers at the commodities exchange are riding for work. Hordes of people are pouring in off the sidewalks, and you can feel the tension rising. Randolph and Mortimer get out of a stretch limousine accompanied by a retinue of aides and flunkies. The Dukes look supremely confident. Their arrival creates an immediate stir. An exchange official hurries out and obsequiously ushers them inside. A dilapidated taxi pulls up, and Billy Ray and Winthorp get out. Winthorp opens his attaché case and throws the stunned driver a $100 bill.
Keep the change.
Billy Ray is staring up at the intimidating skyscraper and then at the grim-faced brokers with growing alarm. Lewis grabs us firmly by the elbow and leads him towards the entrance. Lewis is like some athlete going into a self-induced trance before the big game.
Think big, think positive. Never show weakness, always go for the throat. Buy low and sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Lewis is still giving himself and Billy Ray a pep talk in the crowded elevator.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the carnage you're about to witness. The World Series, the Super Bowl. They don't know what pressure is. In this building, it is kill or be killed. You have no friends in the pits, and you take no prisoners. 1 minute you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next minute, boom, your kids don't go to college. They've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
Billy Ray is flexing his shoulders, breathing deeply, and the pep talk is getting to him.
Yeah. We got to kill them motherfuckers. Got to kill them.
Commodities exchange. A group of men are getting out of their street clothes and changing into the different colored jackets they will wear on the trading floor. Lewis points at some young men putting on lemon yellow smocks.
Those are the runners.
He points at some other men on blue and sky blue jackets.
Those are the referees. They work for the exchange.
Lewis opens a locker and hands Billy Ray a cherry red coat and puts one on himself. He leads Billy Ray into the locker room, where a host of traders and brokers, also in cherry red jackets, are preparing themselves for the coming ordeal. A lot of them sport funny hats and ties that distinguish themselves to the trading floor.
This is the enemy.
Lewis goes over to a basin and begins compulsively washing his hands. Billy Ray follows suit. People are wolfing down pills and Alka-Seltzer, doing loosening up exercises in the mirror, hyperventilating, pacing the floor. Trader 1 next to Billy Ray is chain smoking. Trader 2 next to Lewis is washing down vitamin pills with shooters of wild turkey. Gobble, gobble.
How's the ulcer, Harry?
Good, real good. How's the hypertension?
Hasn't bothered me in months.
A loud bell sounds and everyone stops what they're doing. The 10 toilet doors open and 10 traders in cherry red coats burst out, pulling up and buckling their pants. Everyone begins filling out. Lewis turns to Billy Ray.
Let's kick some ass.
Some 1,500 people are packed into the area about the size of a football field. They're swarming around the various octagonal pits where the different commodities are traded. There's a massive array of tiered cubicles, each belonging to a broker, containing telephones and computer consoles. One whole wall is devoted to a vast electronic board that quotes the changing prices for the various commodities. At the moment, it is still. Overlooking the floor is a visitor's galley. Randolph and Mortimer Duke are huddling with their floor broker, Wilson, a preppy Ivy Leaguer, even in his cherry red coat.
Now, I want you to buy as much OJ as you can. The instant trading starts.
And don't worry if the price starts going up. Just keep buying.
And Wilson says,
I think it's Paul Lind.
But gentlemen, they're going to broadcast the crop report in an hour. What if...
Let us worry about that, Wilson.
Wilson finally realizes the Dukes have an inside tip. He looks at them with admiration and smiles. Yes, sir! Commodity exchange. Every inch around the pit is taken up by traders waiting for the buzzer to signal the commencement for business. A huge clock on the wall ticks down the final seconds until 9 a.m. Lewis and Billy Ray are edging their way into the pit, and they glance up at where the price of April OJ is set to open at $1.02 a pound. There's a hush of palpable expectation, something akin to the moment right before the opening kickoff of a football game. Roll Tide. Billy Ray looks around at the traders in the pit, where eyes are all glued on the clock. As it strikes 9, a loud buzzer sounds and all hell breaks loose. Contrast to everyone else in the pit, appears totally serene, Winthorp does. He's not trading, he's just standing there, smiling approvingly at the commotion around him.
I have no idea what page we're on.
You're on PDF page 132.
132?
117. 117.
Right, but in PDF it's 132.
PDF 132, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What does the line sound like? Is it what are we doing?
What are we doing?
That's it.
Hold on, everyone shut the fuck up. Hold on.
Welcome to Scripts Gone Wild, Malcolm.
Took me 8 minutes to get this badge.
So that's the complete opposite of shutting the fuck up.
Okay, you guys ready? What are we doing?
We are waiting.
What?
For the prices to go up.
Wilson on the other side of the pit is making deals with anyone who'll sell to him. Buy 200 April OJ, $1.02. Other traders take notice of Wilson, glance up at the Dukes in the visitors gallery and at the trading board. Duke brothers look smug. The price of April OJ climbs up to $1.10. The traders begin to smell which way the wind is blowing, and the rumors start.
This should have been the line, the drink, everyone drink line.
Yeah.
The Dukes are trying to corner the market.
They know something. I can feel it.
Let's get in on it.
Traders 3 and 4 rush into the pit and start buying, following Wilson's lead. Transactions are scribbled and tossed on the floor where they're snatched up by clerks who then sprint with the slips of paper over to the papers or head to board officials who enter them into computers. The computers are hooked up to the board where the price for April OJ is now risen to $1.27. Randolph and Mortimer are smirking with delight. They still haven't spotted Billy Ray and Winthorp, who are still not trading. Billy Ray is chomping at the bit, ready for action. Lewis restrains him.
Just say the word, Louis.
Not yet. Almost.
He looks up at the board as the price of OJ climbs to $1.42. Winthorp glancing from the board to the wall clock. It's only minutes before 10 a.m.
Now!
In the space of a split second, Winthorp is transformed into a floor trader, and he begins madly flailing his arms forward to signal that he's selling.
Selling 200. April OJ 142.
Billy Ray watches Winthorp closely and then starts copying what he's doing with his hand signals. Wilson and a few other traders race over and go face-to-face with Billy Ray. Other traders swarm around Winthorp and Valentine, anxious to buy from them. They seem to be the only ones in the pit going against the tide, betting that the price of OJ is going to fall. The board as the price of OJ falls to $1.40. Randolph and Mortimer notice the sudden drop in price, which continues as they watch the board.
That's not right. That's what I got. Oh, it's mine. Now can the price be going down? Fuck, drinking.
Drink.
Excellent.
How can
Something's
the price be
wrong.
going down?
Where's Wilson?
They gaze down at the pit, and the first time they see Winthorp and Valentine surrounded and growing horse are selling as much OJ as they can. Randolph and Mortimer look at the other in disbelief.
What are they doing here?
They're selling, Mortimer.
That's ridiculous. Unless that crop report.
They look at each other with odd incomprehension.
God help us.
They get to their feet and run up the steps of the visitors' galley towards the exit. The Dukes desperately fight their way through a mass of traders and runners. It's the first time we've ever seen the Dukes ruffled without their Olympian composure.
I told you we shouldn't have committed everything, you asshole.
It's not too late. We've got to find Wilson and tell him to sell.
They push their way towards the OJ pit where Lewis and Billy Ray are still feverishly selling. Suspended above the pit are poor TV screens. All action in the pit stops abruptly as everyone cranks their necks up at it. As the stock quotes and news updates stop, the screen goes blank and then starts a live closed-circuit broadcast from the Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C. The Secretary of Agriculture, carrying a large manila envelope, approaches a podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, the orange crop estimates for the next year.
Orange drink. Randolph and Mortimer are looking on full of anxiety, glance nervously at each other as the Secretary of Agriculture tears up the envelope with a flourish more befitting an Oscar presentation.
After calculating the estimate for the various orange production states, we have concluded the following. The cold harvest has apparently not affected the orange harvest. In fact, we should have a rather large surplus by the spring. Consumers can expect orange and orange juice prices to fall dramatically.
That was 3 or 4 in there. Randolph and Mortimer can't believe what they're hearing. As it dawns on them, they make their way towards the pit, where Wilson and all the others trading who follow the Dukes are now desperately trying to sell. On the board, as the price of April OJ starts to plummet from 130 to 120 to 108 to 96 to 85. God damn! Billy Ray and Winthorp are now feverishly buying OJ. There's a stampede of traders trying to buy him. Wilson is beside himself in tears. He sinks to the floor, but nobody takes any notice. 2 traders carry him off while the trading goes on without missing a beat. Randolph and Mortimer arrive at the pit just as Wilson is being carried off.
Wilson! Where are you going?
You idiot! Come back here at once!
The Duke snatch the sale orders clutched in Wilson's fist and charge into the pit looking for buyers. Just as they finally manage to fight their way through the pack, the buzzer sounds signaling the end of the trading day. Billy Ray and Winthorp hear the buzzer sound, and suddenly all trading in the pit abruptly stops. They look at one another, sweat pouring off their faces, and then up at the board where April orange juice is closed out at 29 cents a pound. Billy Ray and Winthorp, as it begins to dawn on them that they have succeeded, they dance about, hugging each other. Randolph and Mortimer peering out from the edge of the crowd at the impossible sight of their 2 guinea pigs locked in an embrace.
Let me. Winthorp!
Valentine!
Billy Ray and Winthorp, still locked in their embrace, turn their heads in unison in the direction of the Dukes.
Happy New Year!
Say, how'd you fellas make out today?
How could you do this to us after all we've done for you?
Randolph and Mortimer look like they've aged 50 years in the last few minutes, which was really hard considering it was Don Amici and Ralph Bellamy.
I'm 121 years old now.
Oh, well, it was a bet. See, I bet Louis here we could put you boys in the bull house and make a fortune for ourselves, and he didn't believe me. I won.
I lost.
Lewis hands Billy Ray a $1 bill.
Well, thank you, Louis.
Alex, a very sour-looking officials approach and surround the Dukes. Official 1 hands them a piece of paper.
What'd you call, gentlemen?
Surely you can't expect us
You
to
know the
pay...
rules of the exchange, Mr. Duke. All accounts are to be settled at the end of day of trading without exception.
You know perfectly well we don't have $394 million.
The Duke's seats on the exchange are for sale at once. Seize all assets of Duke and Duke Commodities Brokers, as well as all personal holdings of Randolph and Mortimer Duke.
Randolph clutches his chest, staggers to his knees, and Board Official 2 helps him.
My God, We're ruined.
This is an outrage. I demand an investigation. You can't sell our seats. A duke has been sitting on this exchange since it was founded. We founded this exchange. It's ours. It belongs to us.
Mr. Duke, your brother's not well. I think we should call an ambulance.
Fuck him. Now listen to me. I want trading reopened right now. Get those brokers back in here. Turn those machines back on.
They forcibly lead Mortimer off.
You and your Nobel Prize. You idiot!
Where's Beaks? That's what I want to know. Where the hell is Beaks?
Back to Billy Ray and Winthorp, who suddenly look at each other, genuinely puzzled.
Beaks?
I forgot all about it.
Yeah. Whatever did happen to Beaks?
New York docks. A crane is hoisting up an animal cage containing 2 gorillas and swinging it over a dark, yawning hold of a docked freighter. 2 longshoremen are watching it from the dock and signing bills of lading.
Okay, 1 male gorilla. That's all of them.
Wait a minute. There's 2 of them in that cage.
The real gorilla is cradling and comforting Beaks in his arms, puckering his lips at him, obviously in love, and looking forward to the voyage. The longshoreman scrawls his pen across the last bill of lading.
1 gorilla, 2 gorillas, big deal. The whole bunch of them are getting shipped back to Africa. They're going to be set free in some huge game preserve.
No kidding.
They want to know how they make out in the wild. It's some kind of scientific experiment. What do I know? Anyway, look at them. They're in love.
Jesus!
I didn't know those things bred in captivity.
Now we're on a tropical beach, a white sand beach fronting a row of elegant villas somewhere in the tropics. A few yachts lie just offshore in the clear turquoise water. Billy Ray, dressed in yachting blazer, white duck, silk ascot, and Panama hat, is reclining under an awning on the beach and picking at his breakfast from a table laden with delicacies. 6 exotic young women in scant bikinis are sunning themselves nearby, and Billy Ray studies each of them, then shuts his eye and waves his finger at them in turn.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If she hollers, let her go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
He opens his eyes, finds he's pointing at a Polynesian beauty.
Monica.
And now it's Mambo number 5.
Oui, Billy Ray?
As she approaches, he holds out a chair for her, then sits down, smiles at her, and shouts towards the villa.
Coleman!
Coleman comes out of the villa dressed in a white tropical suit.
Yes?
What should we do about lunch? The lobster or the cracked crab?
A 7th bathing beauty comes out of the house and possessively puts her arm around Coleman's waist.
Carlotta, what do you think?
Carlotta drapes herself against him and kisses his cheek.
Can't we have both?
Of course.
Coleman turns and calls towards the villa.
Dimitri!
A middle-aged Greek majordomo, dressed in a servant's uniform, hurries out of the kitchen and bows deeply to Coleman.
Sir.
A lobster and cracked crab for everyone.
Extra prima good, Mr. Coleman, sir.
The majordomo salutes and vanishes back inside the villa. At the villa next door on the veranda, Winthorp and Ophelia are being served a champagne brunch by a host of liveried servants beneath a striped silk canopy. Winthorp peers down over the deck at Billy Ray and lifts his champagne glass in a toast.
Looking good, Billy Ray.
Billy Ray turns and glances up at Winthorp, raising his glass in return.
Feeling good, Lewis.
Lewis and Billy Ray smile at one another and drink deeply. Fade out. The end.
Yeah!
We did it! We got through it, everybody.
Wow, really good time,
Pretty
too.
good time. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
That's a long
actually, pretty
script.
good time for 148
2 hours and
script.
15 minutes, man.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
I still
let's
have a
try it
half
again.
bottle left, so we can went around
Yeah.
and read another script.
One more
Are
run.
we gonna do the deleted scenes? Deleted scenes now? You got
Now we're
deleted
going to
scenes
do Come to America, and it's going to be really awkward.
now? Queens.
Okay,
I'll
before
play
I
Eddie
forget,
Murphy this time.
Before I forget, we're going to take a quick selfie or a screenshot of everybody. So everybody get ready and do your best smile at the camera.
All right. Let me see if I can make this work.
Yep. I'm going to count to 3, and then we're going to go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Perfect. So that was Trading Places. Guys, do you think that was better or worse than the actual movie?
There wasn't as much salmon in our version, which I hate.
I forgot there was so much animal on human rapage in this movie.
That I
and yet it
appreciate.
still feels like there could be more. Like there's room to put more. in there.
There's room for more. There's definitely room for
always
more.
more room for rape.
I do love that the most used substance in this is now the most legal one.
Yeah.
Heroin?
No. The smoking, the pot smoking.
Attaché cases?
We have
Attaché cases?
We have to thank this man for this movie, which
Oh, yep, there
Thanks,
he
John.
is. Captain Landis.
yes. John
Maharaja
was
Landis?
the executive
Reminds me that
producer of
what's
my last movie.
Do an accent, German accent.
It was
Oh my God,
I feel
Betsy,
like-
that was.
Yeah,
I
that
feel
was
like bad accents make
Don't be Shane!
We'll do Ferris Bueller next.
If you have not donated to our charity yet, I encourage you to do so. It is Rainforest Trust. You can do that on our website. Just click on the donate tab, scriptsgonewild.com. Click on donate. It'll take you directly to their website where you can make a donation to them. We hope that you will do that. And if you make a donation, put Scripts Gone Wild in there so they know where it comes from. If you want to support us, you can also do that. We're at paypal.me/Scripts Gone Wild. You can also find that on the website. I want to give a quick little plug to a couple of reads we have coming up. Next Wednesday on the 16th, we have a really awesome read. We are doing a reading of the unproduced direct sequel to Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 that was written by Eric Freeman, who actually stars as Caldwell in Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. He wrote a sequel to it that's never seen the light of day. We're going to be reading that. He's going to be reprising his role for the first time in like 33 years. It's going to be a really awesome reading. And then we're closing out our Christmas reads on the 23rd with It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, Murray!
We're going to massacre It's a Wonderful Life. And then we're going to close out the year on December 30th with a read hosted by our own Frank Dietz of The Poseidon Adventure.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're excited about that one.
Frankie, that's going to be fun.
Absolutely. So you can check us out on socials at scriptsgonewild.com. Or at Scripts Gone Wild across all the socials. patreon.com/ScriptsGoneWild. And I'm going to run down our readers one more time because they were awesome. We had Malcolm Barrett, Parry Shen, Betsy Sodaro, Natisha Anderson, Frank Dietz, Kenzo Lee, Kimiko Rojas, Ava Ceja, Scott Golden, Izzy Lee, Natalie Nicole, Dressel, Ken Foster, Jessica Quiroga, Joni Matt, and Mr. Chris Devlin. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Good job, everybody.
Thank you to all of our amazing readers for joining us tonight. And it feels everybody on the count of 3, say one final closing word for the live audience. 1, 2, 3.